sure that under Senate seat on your voter record, you should be putting the seat that you're currently in. Secondly, if you are a senator who's newly elected that's not currently a senator, hi, thanks for being here. I see you. I think a lot of you are in the back. You're going to be sworn in during the second meeting, so as of now, just hang tight in the back and you don't have to fill out a voter record or anything, because as of now, you're not technically counted as here, which also means that you cannot vote when we're doing the voting, so just make sure that you're not standing to avoid any confusion. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Will a member of the Rules and Ethics Committee please come and conduct roll call?
Abikari.
Here.
Here, Andrews.
Here.
Here, Antebi.
Here.
Here, Archulus.
Here.
Here, Bazin. Here, Bennett.
Here.
Here, Blythe. Here, Botts. Here, Boyosa.
Here.
Here, Brantmeyer.
Here.
Here, Bravo.
Here.
Here, Britton.
Here.
Here, Cafarata.
Here.
Here, Canella.
Here.
Here, Chabra. Here, Brigliano. Here, Comstone.
Here.
Here, Davis. Here, DeCampley. Here, Dill. Dill. Doonan. Here, Eisenberg.
Here.
Here, Epstein. Epstein. Eubank. Eubank. Feldstein. Here, Felix. Here, Ferber.
Here.
Here, Kilorama's here. Finbrock.
Here.
Here, Flores. Here, Fullerton. Here, Gelati. Gelati. Golosorki. Here, Gregg. Gregg. Here, Greiser.
Here.
Here, Hancock.
Here.
Here, Henley. Here, Herdman.
Here.
Here, Hoffman. Hoffman. Edicula.
Here.
Here, Isaacson.
Here.
Here, Jabor. Here, Jacobson. Here, Johnson.
Here.
Here, Carmela. Carmela. Katz. Here, Kajabi.
Here.
Here, Khan.
Here.
Here, Labradini. Here, Larson.
Here.
Here, Levitt.
Here.
Here, Benares. Here, Littman.
Here.
Here, Lockwood. Lockwood. Lucan. Here, Lou. Here, Mahmoudi. Mahmoudi. McCracken. McCracken. McNamara. McNamara. Melamed. Here, Mento.
Here.
Here, Mechik. Here, Mirabel. Here, Murphy. Here, Nadeau.
Here.
Here, Papa.
Here.
Here, Pasco.
Here.
Here, Pecora. Here, Prieto. Here, Putnam. Here, Graffit. Here, Ravindranath. Ravindranath. Riley. Here, Rodriguez. Here, Revive.
Here.
Here, Sabotage. Sabotage. Here, Salvador.
Here.
Here, Shapansky. Here, Schramm. Schramm. Cipher.
Here.
Here, Cipher. Here, Sedgepaul. Sedgepaul. Shaw. Here, Simon.
Here.
Here, Tappan. Tappan. Triggs.
Here.
Here, Trower. Here, Urbenz. Here, Wang. Here, Walsinovich.
Here.
Here, Yachik.
Here.
Here, Zervadakis. Here, are there any senators that I did not call? There are 78 senators present.
Quorum has been established with 78 senators present. We are now in line for public comment, starting off for Nathaniel Pelton. No one has reserved in a long time. That basically means you go to the end of the list. We are now in line for Anamika Naidu.
I reserve.
We are now in line for Angelina Mikulowski.
I give my time to Namaka Naidu.
We are now in line for Megan Leahy.
I yield to
Okay, so we are now back in line for Nathaniel Pelton. You will have 6 minutes whenever you're ready.
All right, good evening, Senators.
Good evening.
Wow, it is really great to be back. Not really, but it's great to see so many incredible faces, a lot of new faces, people I've never seen before. My name is Nathaniel Pelton. It's been over a year since I've been here, and I started my Senate experience about 3 years ago, so I'm a really old, kind of person. And I'm back because I have a really important message, and I want to talk a little bit about what I've been seeing. And you know, if you're on your phone, if you're looking at your laptop, I really would appreciate if you take the time to listen in the next 6 minutes. Now, I'm here not to express some grievances and go home. I really care about the student government. In fact, anyone who's ever had to sit in this chamber with me knows that my desire has never been personal achievement. It's always been making this campus a better place. Now, this past year, our campus has changed in many ways, and none of which for the better. Frankly, we've watched our buses vanish, we've seen our study spaces close, and the cost of basic necessities has gone far out of reach for our students. But Senate President, what troubles me most is not about these losses alone, but the complacency and the complicity of Vision Party. Now, Vision Party says they care about affordability rather. But they're perfectly comfortable watching graduate students get priced out of housing while their housing is torn down. They speak of access, but only for those in their and Florida Blue Keys circles. They claim to champion diversity, but their appointments and actions fail to meet that measure by every standard. Look around. They say they care about sustainability, but entire forests are cut down on this campus for development. Meanwhile, the Office of Sustainability is closed with no protest by the chamber. They care to value student life, but they defunded 24/7 study spaces, a hallmark of what made Gator Nation a beautiful place. They boast about free speech while our professors are limited in what they can teach on this campus. And by the way, our school was just rated D for its freedom of speech and freedom of expression score by a recent organization. They promised to support off-campus students, but when bus funding was gutted and students were forced to spend $20 to Uber onto campus from far away, they threw up their hands. They said there's just nothing we can do. They preach accountability, but they refuse to even acknowledge their campaign's link to an affiliate who is charged with possessing child pornography. They claim to protect the student community, but only when that community lives in a Greek house facing misconduct allegations. Now, they swear to be the party of feasibility and action. Yet after years in power, they have failed to make this university a better place for anyone but themselves. And you ask them why. Why have they failed to meet the moment, to keep their promises, to act? And they'll tell you they've done all they can. They've grown out of touch. They've lost their way. They are consumed by the pursuit of control rather than progress. And their leadership grips power so tightly that even their own senators are denied the freedom to lead, to draft their own bills, to pursue their own ideas. Now, as I said before, I didn't come here just to gripe with you for 6 minutes straight. I came here because it is time to make a difference on this campus. To the students of the university, I am calling upon you to build something better. To the students who feel ignored by the student government. To those who've been told to wait your turn. The time is now. It's time to create a new movement. A party that expands beyond the progress of those who came before. A coalition rooted in progress, accountability, and fundamental change. Together we can build a student government that fights for affordable housing, accessible transportation, and the comfort of every Gator who lives on this campus. And to those who want to take on this challenge, I stand with you. I will provide the strategic and financial backing to make it happen. So to those of you out there, maybe not in this room right now, but those of you out there, I'm calling upon you to form a new party, to take down this regime from its failures to make this campus a better place. Now, I've got less than a minute. To the current senators who are leaving this chamber right now, I've had the pleasure of serving with some of you maybe not. You are the future leaders of this state and our nation. You are. Vision, change, doesn't matter. You are the future. As you leave this chamber, I want you to know that you have the individual creativity to do what you want, to achieve your goals. As much as your leadership might make it seem like you are limited, you can do whatever you set out to be. Don't let the complacency and lack of care of this chamber insult you and take you down in the future. Do what you want to do. Build a good future. And to those of you who are entering the chamber for the first time, please make this term about the Gator Nation. Make it about making students better. Give them a better future. So I thank you so much for your time, and I really hope you heed this advice. Have a great day.
We are now in line for Anamika Naidu.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Anamika Naidu. I served in Senate, I would say, maybe 2 years. I also ran to be student body president last spring with Change Party. So I'm long gone from Senate, but I just wanted to talk about, maybe this will give some context as to what my colleague Nathaniel kind of just spoke to you about. Especially, I know he spoke to some of the failures of the party that you all are a part of, but also this is how they came into power. So this is the old fall map. You can see on here, on campus remains the same, with the exception of Graham, but you have District A, B, C, and D. Now, those don't exist anymore if you just got elected as an off-campus senator. Notice how I said off-campus. So, as you can see, District A and District B, this would be District A would be like the sorority row area, District B, it's like the Midtown area, that kind of thing. District C and D are farther off campus, and the demographic of these districts are very, very different. Most of the voters come out of District A and B. I'm sure you can understand Greek life, required to vote. Don't worry, I'm not judging. Just it's a fact we all know in here. So naturally, a lot of the votes are coming out of those regions. In fall of 2022, I believe it was, Change Party on this map won the majority of the election. We won majority on campus, and we swept District C and D. That left, at the time, Gator Party with a few seats of on campus, as well as District A and B. We used that momentum as Change Party to then win the spring election. Shortly during that time, 24/7 Marston was secured. It was a great time to be on this campus. Also Ben Sass, people were starting to become privy to his misbehavior, that kind of thing. Come the next fall, mysteriously Gator Party disappeared. Everybody who was in Gator Party who was still relevant rebranded to Vision Party. Same people, by the way. Many of them are in this room. A few of them are right over here. And this is what the new map looks like. Now, when majority of the votes are coming from Districts A and B, they completely override the voices of Districts C and D, even though those areas plus those on-campus seats make up more votes. So, Change Party, I would say, got the majority on campus, but we have nothing on a, 7,000 person Greek voter bloc. So when they inevitably swept the off-campus seats, it gerrymandered the election, and it made it impossible for any minority party, not just Change Party, to really ever do anything. Let's go back. Here, 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 here. That's a pretty big, yeah, let's do it. Yeah? All right. One thing that Nathaniel brought up was bus routes. I would like to now transition to, now you know how a lot of you got elected, you know what it would have been before, you know what it is now. I want to talk about why this is important, and maybe some of the issues that while you're fighting in this chamber, while you are in this chamber, things that you should be fighting for. One of them are the bus routes. This party, Vision Party, when the mayor came here to speak on bus cuts in 2024, this administration literally told the mayor, no, you can't speak at our meeting. He wasn't really trying to do anything besides educate student leaders on this campus as to how they can advocate for students. Now, if all of you are claimed to be off-campus senators, now mind you, you're not segregated into A, B, C, D anymore. You are off-campus senators. It is on you to prioritize the literal bus system. That's not, guys, this is not an opinion. This is just objective. If most people are living in those areas, District D especially, because it's proportional to how many people live there, that should be something you're fighting for. I understand that a lot of you might live in District A and B. Not all of you, but a lot of you live on campus or District A or District B. But that's not true for the majority of people who go to school here. So you need to be aware of that when you're legislating in this chamber, but also when you're advocating out of this chamber. The next thing I want to talk about is 24/7 Marston. Now, we used to have a 24/7 space on campus. It was Newell before that. It was Live West before that. But look around, there's nothing anymore. Now, I understand a lot of you could maybe walk home and go to, maybe you have a really nice study room in your apartment. Maybe you have access to a Greek house that after hours you can use the study room. That is simply not true for everyone. That's not true for the majority of people who run in my circles. It's not true for the majority of people who voted for change, even pre-gerrymander, which, by the way, was majority of the campus, considering we had majority of the Senate. So it is on you to be advocating for that. This party, when a bill to fund 24/7 Marston was brought to the chamber, voted it down on the basis that it's not student government's job to fund Marston. And whether or not you believe that to be true does nothing to negate the fact that none of you are advocating for it. Even if you don't want to vote for it in this chamber, doesn't mean that you can't advocate for it. Not only are we student legislators amongst ourselves, we also serve as a liaison between the student body and the administration. We're clear on that, yeah? Especially for the people who are coming in new. Because I understand you might not know this prior. A lot of you might be first year, second years, so that's fair. But now that you know, you need to do something about it. Talk to admin. I know that already happens all the time. Now, you all are definitely coming in on an easier time to be in Senate than it was for me and Nathaniel. Our first double meeting went till 3 in the morning. My first double meeting got stalled out for like 2 months and then went till 3 in the morning. And usually they blame that on the minority party. I will say this time there is no minority party. And it seems like you guys got a lot on your agenda. Aaron, it was a funny decision to rewrite the entire RMP on the double meeting. So you guys can't blame the minority party this time, okay? That's Aaron's fault. But I also am really glad to see that, maybe he's coming around and reversing a very questionably good bill.
You have to address me, but...
True. Senate President, I'm very glad to see that the Senate Pro Tem is coming around to correct a very questionably named bill he passed last summer and restore 5 minutes to publish on there. So that is a step in the right direction. I have hope that all of you can get there. 24/7 Marston, I'd like to see it happen. If it's not through this chamber, it needs to be some other way. Bus.
That is unfortunately.
Thank you. Make good choices.
That concludes the public comment period, so we are now in line for goodbye speeches, starting off with Aaliyah Henley. You'll have 15 minutes whenever you're ready.
Good evening, Senators.
Good evening.
I will say this speech will not be very long. I have been sick at 9:30 in the morning, so let's get started. I cannot believe that it's been 2 years already. I've spent over half of my college career as a senator. I've spent many late nights here as a reference, even one that went until 3:30 in the morning. I drove back to Tallahassee that same morning. At 6 a.m. I got home. But although there's been many ups and downs during my time in this chamber, I wouldn't change a thing, except maybe the part where I wasn't approved for my Senate seat for 2 months. That part kind of sucked, but most of you probably don't know what I'm about to say. To the new senators, I remember where you were sitting 2 years ago, being told not to be complacent, like I'm sure you're going to continue here. But truly, if there's anything you take away from tonight, yes, write legislation, but don't let it be your limit. Go out into the community and make a difference. Apply for a standing committee. Definitely do more than just come in on Tuesday. Some takeaways: stay busy, which I know you are all probably very good at, but take care of yourself. And like an old coach once told me, to give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift. For some shout outs, Crystal and Molly, I'm so proud of everything you guys have done, and I can't wait to see you continue to do in the chamber. Emma Ramsey, I'm super excited to see what you do, and I'm so glad that you're going to be here now. Caroline, my Senate mentee, I'm so glad the Senate brought me to you. You are such a light and such sunshine, and anyone who knows her is lucky. Emma Fullerton, I'm so glad Senate brought you to me. You're one of my favorite people ever. Gabby, nobody loves Senate like you do. Shout out to the original Judicial Squad, aka Spring 2024. That was a time. I was on the committee for an entire year. I think I probably broke some sort of record. I would list everyone in that committee, but I think no one's left or Aaron and Gabby. So. Shout out RNA Fall 2024. Blake Cox, Julia, Mia, Maya, you guys are awesome. Mia, I'm so glad that we were mouths together. You're lucky like randomly occurred in my life, but I'm so glad that you did because we've come so close and I love you. Catherine, same to you. You're awesome. Erin, thank God we had each other for the prime judish. What a time. You are insanely smart and such a great leader, and I'm so proud of you. Matthew, you are the kindest, most positive person I've ever met. Thank you for being such a great friend. Maya, you rock. I'm excited to see what you continue to do. Julia, you are quite the leader. I admire you, and I'm so lucky to have worked alongside of you. You're awesome. Shout out Kayla Myers. She's been my mentor since freshman year. I seriously would not be here without her. Damon Gross, same to you, another mentor since freshman year. I really appreciate everything that you've done. Shout out to my mom. I think she's watching this in the live stream. Thanks for listening to all my rants after 11 p.m. last year. So every single one of those people I've met because of my time in Senate, and Senate has brought all of them into my life, and I will forever be indebted to its relationships and experiences that it's brought me. It's bittersweet to be leaving the chamber, but I'm excited to see what the new appearance members accomplish. And with that, I'm out.
Thank you, Senator Henley. We are now in line for a goodbye speech by Lucas Nadell. You'll have 15 minutes when you're ready.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Gonna miss time. I did have a huge section of my goodbye speech dedicated to thank yous. However, I'm going to skip that for the purpose of time. Everyone who is in the chamber, Asha, Jennifer, Priya, Nathaniel, thank you so much for being here with me. It's been an honor serving with you guys, knowing you, and also Andrew. Thank you for that. Now, I don't know, how do you full screen this? On the following two slides, I do have some quotes from people who will remain anonymous that were both said to me during my Senate career, and I feel like I need to adjust them in order to clear my mind and ensure that this behavior is not continued in this environment. Indie at heart is bullshit if you're not part of the party. This was said to me by a member of the Change Party Executive Board the day after I posted my public resignation from the party. Right over there, in fact. This was a person who I used to look up to, but now I only see as one of the people who used me to further their own goals instead of building on the Indian party movement as a whole. There's a non-zero number of people who, after I left the party, completely cut contact with me and still pretend that I don't exist. These are the people who ran change. During my time in the party, I saw a repeating cycle of those at the top who, despite the party name, did not want to change. Instead, keeping the same techniques and methods that led us to election after election after election. Seeing scores of my friends leave after every semester due to either burnout and, scarily often, a lack of support. Having to recruit an entire new candidate base every semester. I was done. I was done with the fake friendships, the constant burnout that drove most dedicated members away from the party, and from the unnecessary garden of information by the exec board. The response? That. Apparently, you are not able to be an indie if you aren't part of the party. You aren't allowed to fight for your constituents on the issues that matter to them most if you don't have a party affiliation. To that I ask, what about the independent figures that still exist? What about the 3 independent candidates who ran this semester with no party backing? 2 of whom used to be members of your party. Are they bullshit? Did their campaigns mean nothing because their ballot name didn't have change next to it? Because that is rhetoric that will kill any indie movement in the future. Why are you burying that? It's unprofessional. Let's take a guess at which party that person said to me. Couldn't be the party that wore suits every single Tuesday, could it? No. In all seriousness, I am not going to say where this was said to me, but just know it was not at a Senate meeting, nor did this event require formal attire. Also, this was a replacement senator. Who are you to tell me what to wear? I'm the only one out of the 2 of us in this conversation that got elected to this body. I can wear whatever I damn well please. There is no dress code for this chamber, and I can tell you that the average students, the people I represented, do not wear suits on Tuesday nights, so why should I? One more thing. If you only respect someone based on what they wear, and not what they say and what they do, that says more about you as a person than it does about them, especially coming from a senator who was never in that position in the first place. I have one more quote for you all tonight. This one will take some context. One of the classes that I am taking this semester is called Politics Under Authoritarianism. During one of the classes, the professor was discussing one-party regimes and was listing example countries: Thailand, North Korea, etc. One of my classmates raises his hand and goes, "Like Vision Party here at UF?" Professor agreed with him. The reason I bring this up is to mention another aspect of one-party regimes: complacency, something mentioned by former Senator Pelton earlier. When parties have no formidable opposition, they grow complicit, shirking their duties to the populace and becoming more out of touch with the people they supposedly represent. Already, we are seeing signs of this. Visions repeatedly shown they would rather be in the good graces of UF admin, abide by whatever they say, than actually work to fix the most common issues facing UF. Vision has passed over to the powers of this chamber to ensure that there is nothing more than a symbolic body with no actual power. Every passing month has shown more inter-body revisions and symbolic resolutions with no actual power to change anything. At a time when UF admin has been corralled by state overreach, Vision has been corralled by UF admin. This party has almost complete control. No, it does have complete control over all branches and organizations representing student governments, and yet nothing of substance has happened to address issues such as 24/7 Marston or RTS bus routes. I found it hard to believe that there is nothing we can do when you are so cozied up to admin and have influence over every goddamn SG-controlled org at UF. Instead of progress, we see silence. Instead of popular student demands getting passed, we see excuses and inaction. To conclude, this is why I decided not to run again, because I refuse to be in a body that erodes their own powers in exchange for resume lines and stepping stones into FBK. During my year in office, I realized that I wanted to create actual change. I had to step out of the institutions of power and do it my damn self. So no, I'm not giving up. You will see more of me in the future. Count on it. Thank you, I yield back.
Thank you, Senator Nadeau. We are now in line for a goodbye speech by Emma Jabor. You'll have 15 minutes whenever you're ready.
Good evening, Senators. It's so great to be up here. I want to start off by congratulating all of the newly elected senators. You are all so qualified, and I can't wait to see everything that you accomplish. I wanted to start off by taking a minute to say how grateful I am that Senate has given me the opportunity to work with so many amazing students and faculty members this entire term. I got to work on legislation that I'm actually passionate about and really mattered to me. I've been a runner my entire life, and my first resolution I ever worked on was about improving what I did in the Holiday State Running Trail. More recently, I've worked with student Student Body Vice President Jay Gonzalez and Senator Raffet on improving access to menstrual products on campus. These have been really important initiatives for me, and I'm just so grateful that I have the opportunity to do them, the opportunity to hold this seat and Tuesday here with you guys. But more importantly, I want to shout a few people out. So to my 85 girls who just got elected, Ava and Stella, you both are amazing, and I'm so proud of you. To my mentor, Kate, my mentee, Zach, and my flex mentor, Maya, who actually encouraged me to slate in the first place. I love you all so much. To Lexi Trower, wherever she is, Jocelyn, Phoenix, where are they? Josh, Marco, Rafe, Anthony. You guys are all the best, and I miss spending every Tuesday night with you guys. To our amazing leadership, Julia and Aaron, you guys are the best. And the INC committee that I very briefly served on. That was an amazing experience, and I really worked on these leaders to end. And lastly, they're not in the room, but Freddie Rappaport and Isabel Pons, they've been the biggest inspirations to me, and I'm just so grateful for them. And of course, Ava Raffet. You've been by my side since campaign, and we've been attached at the hip ever since, so I couldn't survive without you, and I'm very grateful I got a best friend out of Senate. To the new senators, I'm sure you've heard this a million times, but it really is what you make of it, and I hope by the end of your terms you feel that you've built a strong relationships as I feel that I've built, and that I'm so grateful for. So congratulations again, and thank you so much to everyone in this room who made this term so amazing.
Thank you, Senator Jabbour. We are now in line for a goodbye speech from Catherine Isaacson.
Okay. Good evening, Senators. Good evening. It's really weird to be up here. It's been a little while. I'm very happy I'm not doing attendance this time. I promise this is going to be very quick and painless, and it is a little jumbled, but I felt like I kind of needed to give a goodbye speech after spending 2 years worth of my life in Tuesdays in this room. And I feel like I've honestly lived multiple lives since I was first elected in fall of 2023 with Vision Party. Just a little, by the way, congrats to the new senators, a little bit of advice, get involved, make sure to apply for committees, and you're really only going to get out of Senate what you put in it. I can say for me, I spent 2 years of my life here, and I got so much out of Senate. It's probably one of the biggest growing points I have had in not just my collegiate career, but educational career in general. And yeah, so I really wouldn't be here where I am today without Senate and friends I made along the way. Also, I'm about to go into a long list of shout-outs because these people are really what made my Senate experience and helped me thrive in this place and get everything I was and learn as much as I was able to and gain as many experiences as I was able to. First, the people in my life which they're watching on the live stream are my best friends and my roommates, Carolyn and Sydney, and all the rest of them. They are some of the coolest people I've ever met, most supportive people. Every time I come home upset about something with Senate, they talk me down and be the best voices of reason. I'll also never forget running home to my best friend Courtney. It was the first night whenever I got elected into Vision, and I'd slated 2 times before that, and then my 3rd time I got elected, so it had been a bit of a roller coaster, and I honestly don't know if I've ever experienced that much joy in my life or if I ever will again. To all the people I campaigned with on my first campaign, y'all were amazing. Reese and Megan, I know that you're not here. They're honestly making me feel very because they left a while ago, but y'all were some of the first friends I ever had in Senate, and they were amazing. Also, a shout out to the RNA committee of summer of 2024. That was really when I started getting into the depths of Senate. Julia, you're the only one who's left here, but we're the last one standing. I remember our first meeting whenever you had just become majority party leader, and I was up, and I had become now. And I remember being kind of intimidated by you because you just seemed like you had everything together. But you were so cool, just amazing, coolest person to talk to. English major going into med school, I still remember that. It's amazing. And shout out to my Rules and Ethics Committee that I served on. Sammy, best R&D chair ever. Sorry, Mia. It's fine. It's fine. And then I also have to mention our little group who would always go to Swamp after Senate in summer. Those nights were some of my favorite memories. So also, like, being in Senate, I've made some of the closest friendships I have in college. Make sure to hang out with people outside of Senate because you never know the people you'll find, the connections you'll make, and the friendships that will last a lifetime. Ashley, Julia, Mia, Leah, Maya, and Aaron. Also, special shout out to Brooke. On that note, I'm so thankful for those nights, for getting to know Aaliyah better. You're one of the coolest people I've ever met, and I'm so happy. It's only been a few weeks, but I'm so happy we've gotten closer. And a special shout out to Molly. I promised I'd give her a shout out. You are so funny and such an amazing person. And my favorite dynamic of all time is to watch her and Mia interact. If you guys haven't, highly recommend it. And finally, save the best for last. Mia, you may not be the best RNE chair, but you're the best senator I've ever met. You're my favorite. She's not giving a goodbye speech, which everyone should bully her about. But I can't really tell you when we became friends. All I know is one day we sat next to each other in Senate, and I was still pretty quiet, and she forced me to talk with her. And if you met her, you know it's not really an option to not talk around her. She just has this infectious energy. You're one of the biggest reasons I'm so thankful for Senate. Our friendship has like kind of transcended it. And from Swamp and Dog to celebrating the national championship win with you, one of my favorite memories. I can definitely say that there would be a hole in my life without you in it. And you're one of the kindest, funniest, coolest people I've ever met. And yeah, those are all my shout outs. Just make sure, spend this time to make a difference in your school, grow as a person, and like there's so many different ways that you can grow and excel through Senate. Honestly, the options are endless, and I definitely did miss some people in this speech, because if I mentioned everyone who had such an impact on me, it'd probably be about a 2.5 hour long speech, but I genuinely love all the people I've met here and wish everyone the best of luck.
Thank you, Senator Isaacson. We are now in line for a goodbye speech by Sherry Lewis. You have 15 minutes to read.
So we haven't met. I'm Sherry, and I was a replacement for Murphy back in the spring. And I just wanted to start off by saying that I would not be here if it wasn't for my current roommate, Berkeley Morris. So little story going. Berkeley banged my line on a random Thursday telling me that the Murphy seat was open and I should try applying because I was complaining so much about my living experience in my triple with my questionable roommate. So if you saw that, I'm really sorry about that. And to be honest, before that, I was barely involved in SG, and I definitely ran away from all of you during elections. But I was like, sure, why not? In order to try. Maybe you could fix my living experience for me and everyone around me too. And not gonna lie, going into the RNE interview was probably one of my most nervous experiences of my freshman year because I had no idea what to expect and I had no idea who these people that were interviewing me were. And so I went up to give my ideas. And so shout out RNA for bringing me here. I said I wasn't gonna cry, and here I am. Let's see. So yeah, shout out Berkeley, wherever she is. Hi. And I would also like to shout out the best mentor ever, Lexi Trower. Coming to Senate, I had no idea what was happening, and I'm still learning the terminology and procedures, but Lexi let me ask her all the questions and follow her all summer and fall. Whether that's spawning in her sorority house with my Murphy roommate area roommate last year, or Berkeley, for sending her giant texts of what to do for constituency or legislation. Lexi has been the absolute best mentor and friend that I've made in Senate. I love you so much, and you'll probably never get rid of me sweating at your house. Also, a shout out my homestate girl, Nadia, for letting me follow her and answer all my questions when I was coming into Senate. Hello.
Oh, and shout out everyone, I was bothering to pull up the Senate today. Okay, and most importantly, if you remember, I passed a resolution 2 weeks ago to collaborate with the agency to promote underutilized resources at UF. I could not have done it without my 4 Girls Versus resolution, Ava, Avra, Caroline, Kim, and Missy Mies. Ava and Caroline, y'all are actually amazing to work with on this resolution, and I can't wait to see what y'all do in the chamber. And a little update about that resolution, if y'all know anything about me and how much I love the agency and how much it has helped me as a student, including sending me to Cannes Lines this summer. There are some incredible things in the works for the students in the agency and at UF. I can't wait to work with y'all in the future on the agency side or in other media production projects. I would like to also thank Mercury Area Council and IMC for the best meetings, and also shout out my Mercury successor, Michael. Can't wait to see what you do. And finally, because I love and appreciate all of you so much, big shout out to everyone in this chamber. Y'all are all here for a reason. For all the new senators in the room, I know you all might be super confused and lost for your first meeting or two, but there are so many experienced and great mentors in the room that help you and work with you for whatever you want to accomplish for your constituents in this chamber. I can't wait to see what all of you do or continue to work on in this chamber. And lastly, let me know if you ever need a headshot. You know how to reach me. Here's how to go for the rest of your night.
That's from my Pecha Kucha, which is like a 20-slide I guess conclusion and summary of my life. But I just wanted to showcase something of like my college experience. I think one of my biggest milestones in college has been serving in the Student Senate. I actually just, I can't even believe that I'm up here. It's been 2 years since I've gone to this university. I didn't even know what student government was when I arrived on this campus, and it has taken me for a ride. Whether that be different agencies that I've been a part of, the Student Senate itself, and all of the different clubs, organizations, communities that has allowed me to reach. As you can tell by now, I didn't prepare anything. But I really wanted to speak from the heart. I wanted to shout almost as many people as I possibly could out. First and foremost, the funniest people I've ever met in my life, you're on the budget committee. Beware of Molly though. Every single budget committee I've ever been on has been the absolute shine and brightness of my entire week, of my month. I'm serious, not even going to those hearings or anything like that, but just joking around with y'all, cracking the jokes that we crack. It's just special. I also just wanted to shout out, Anamika right in front of here. The fact that you're here right now and you're not even a senator, most senators don't even show up to their meetings. That kind of shows you guys the dedication that a lot of the people that have been here before us have given to this chamber. Nathaniel was here. Max Bannock was my mentor from high school. He was also the past minority party leader. Y'all have had an impact on my life as well. Andrew, you're always dripped out. Straight up. But just, looking around, this is Flex, this is, my fraternity, this is Speech and Debate, this is my everything right in front of me. Y'all have been a part of so many different of my communities, my Senate mentees, my Flex mentees, my, Yoel, my actual little, y'all have just done so many different things, and I'm so proud of all the things that you've done so far, and I just can't wait to see what's next. I've heard a lot of negative comments today, but I just really wanted to shout out all the things that I've been able to see while I've been in this chamber. Sherry talked a little bit about what she's done for the agency, and she was in the chamber for half the time that some of these, I'm not trying to, but half the time that some of these other people have been in. Yoel, you're always advocating for the little guy. The grad caucus right in front of me. Y'all have killed it, and you've been amazing, people. We absolutely love you. Maya, you championed being the budget chair, and also my MPL that passed me the torch. I couldn't even thank you enough. Taylor Blythe, your smile's contagious. I just had to say that. Marco, you're a champion of other people. You made La Casita a landmark on campus. I mean, I can't even begin to keep on going. Like Food for Clients, like the mental health stuff that we're currently working on. I mean, I am just so proud of everything that we have done as a caucus, as a community, and as a group, and I just can't wait for the future. And I also want to say one last thing. For y'all that are, right in front of me, y'all that are coming into the Senate chambers, it's going to be a long ride. I remember when I was interviewing, and I literally started, it's a debate term called spreading, where I started literally rapping because I wanted to say as many words as possible in my interview. So I started saying, I was like, my first internship I did this, and then I wanted to do this, and then I was a financial analyst for this, and now I'm going to be on the budget committee. And Julia literally thought I was rapping, but it ended up paying off, hard work does end up paying off. A little quote that I like to live by, that one of my friends told me back in the day: risk is the price that you pay for opportunity, and opportunity is what you make of it.
Thank you, Majority Party Leader Pons. And we are now in line for a goodbye speech from Kate McNamara. You have 15 minutes, whatever you're ready.
I'm going to try my best not to cry, but I can't make any promises because when I was sending my resignation email, I couldn't for 3 days because every time I look at it, I cry in the library. So I might cry. But if I haven't yet had the privilege of meeting you, my name is Kate McNamara, and I've had the honor and privilege of serving as both the sophomore and business school representative over the last year and a half. This is really exciting for me because I've been mentally writing my goodbye speech since my very first Senate meeting a year and a half ago. But even so, I wrote the bulk of this in chamber today, and I was still typing it when they called my name, so bear with me. Sometimes the best work happens under pressure, and I would say the chamber is exactly that. Senate has pressured me to branch out of my circle, to grow as a student, community member, friend, leader, and individual. And in addition to these positive pressures, Senate has also forced me to look inward and reflect on how I present myself, how I interact with others, and how I accept and implement criticism and negative externalities. Senate has pushed me to become a version of myself I didn't even know existed, so in my many late night variations of this speech, it has gone from a tear-filled, heartfelt goodbye to a motivational ballad, to a rage-filled 15 minutes, to a recitation of gratitude, to no speech at all, and then to what it is today. And if you can tell based on that, Senate for me has been an absolute roller coaster. When I first arrived on campus, like so many of you, I was stellar in almost every regard. Coming here, I was confident that I would fall in love with college and that it would welcome me with open arms, and boy was I wrong. I spent my first semester getting rejected from quite possibly everything on campus, my first and second seat, feeling completely and utterly alone, and spending most of my nights crying in my 56-degree Broward dorm. Needless to say, it was a rough couple months, and UF had not been my first or seventh choice, but every day reassured me that I needed to transfer ASAP. When I came back from break, I came in with a new mentality to try again, because what's the worst that can happen? And the answer was getting rejected from everything again. So things were finally looking up when I got an email during the chapter after my final round Cicerone's interview that said, rejected, and as the tears welled up in my eyes during chapter, it was almost as fate waved its hand, fate known as Freddie Rappaport, she announced that the final day to slate revision was that Tuesday. So I finally slated, and I came into campaign blind as a finance major with no idea what the word slate actually meant, and Google was no help. Campaign introduced me to a side of UF I had never seen, and winning the spring election of 2024 was one of the most memorable and impactful moments I've had in UF. I know it might seem kind of odd that I seem really obsessed with Senate because I'm not like the biggest face god, but this is a space that truly gave me a home at UF. I really did not want to be here at all, and coming into Senate and going through campaign and meeting all of you guys, it like exposed me to a side of the school that I didn't know was possible. And it was the first time I felt like I could be myself and that I could connect with other students. and like I could stay here. So I'm really, really grateful to Senate for everything that it's given me and all the friends that I've made here. Yeah, so that's where the actual written out parts ended. But I'll start with some shout outs to my amazing mentors. The first person I sat next to in this chamber was Co Levingood, and I've never laughed so hard while sweating and wanting to cry. It was orientation and I was so confused. He was honestly just like one of the brightest lights of a person that I've ever met in my entire life. He's not here, so I won't ramble because I can call him after. And then to my mentor, Laurel, or Yanni, I miss you dearly, she's watching. And then to my other mentors, Freddie and Isabel, I love you guys dearly, and thank you so much for opening up to the world that is Senate and Student Gov. It is so exciting to be here. And then to the budget chairs that I had in my time on budget, Damian Rodriguez, you were the GOAT, Aditi Sarkar, you were the GOAT, and then Maya, you're literally a queen. Everything you do, I'm like in awe of. You have like the most bad energy ever. Excuse me. And I'm just obsessed with you. Like, you literally carry yourself with such grace, and I admire you constantly, and so does literally everyone in this room. So can't wait to see all you do in the future. Moving on to the OG sophomore slate, Crystal, who I've had the goated privilege of getting to know. She left, but I think she's listening somewhere as long as the overhead mics are working. I don't know if you checked that. She's seriously one of the funniest, most hardworking and caring people on this campus. I'm so grateful to know you. And to Andrew, who I've gotten to run with twice. You're seriously awesome, and I can't wait to miss out on all of the great things you accomplished while I'm in Madrid and you aren't. In line with that, to my other fellow business senator, Beckett Papa, you are such a bright light and an inspiring person to be around. It is so admirable how you put so much passion and effort into everything you do, and I can't wait to see everything that you get to do in the coming years. I don't know where you're sitting. Shout out to the other OGs, Nor. Is she here? Yes, your aura is insane. Literally, like, I was terrified of you for the longest time, and we're finally friends, I think. But you're honestly so like insane as a person. Everything you do, like you do with such like emphasis and power, and I'm just grateful to call you a friend. Shout out to all the rest of the budget baddies. Budget was definitely my favorite time in the Senate.
You hear this?
Yes, so much budget love. But yeah, I'm not gonna name you guys. I'm just kidding. Thank you, Anthony. I stopped writing here, so I'm a little bit stressed out. But you guys were seriously so much fun. Rafe, Anthony, Marco.
I made it, dude. He's forgiven.
Love you all. Molly, you are the sweetest baby ever. I just love you so much. And now you're like old and approaching the age of washed, but I love you so much. Sorry, this is very unprofessional. I'm very sorry. Cole, I wrote something about you. Oh, you're the GOAT. And I can't wait to see you become the greatest politician or the president or something else cool and impressive. And then Josh, you're so incredible. You just make me smile to be around. If I keep going down the line, I'm gonna get stressed out. To Lavender Caucus, thank you guys for everything. Thank you to Cassie for being so awesome. Thank you to Lucas. You've like seriously been such a wonder to work with. You've put everything you have, and you have for so long into this chamber. So it's been a pleasure getting to know you. Julia, you are so cool. You are one of the best people I've ever met, and the best person to learn from and watch go through life. So it's really impressive that you do everything that you do, and getting to talk to you that one time in your office when you were studying and didn't really know what was going on, like hearing everything that you do, like this is a side hustle, and every single aspect of your life, you would do everything to serve others, and like if you do something to serve yourself, you can do so much out there, and it's recognized by everybody. Erin, I only really met you last week, but I've heard wonderful things about you from everyone, and I know why they speak so highly of you. You're seriously so wonderful. I know I'm missing so many people. Ava, I love you. My other my other mentee, Yoel, and then Zach, and Josh. Love you guys. And I could go down the list and say things about everyone, but I know I've been rambling, so I'm sorry for that. And to the new senators, Senate is really what you make it. I know that this might seem daunting or boring or annoying, but listening to the people that came before you, maybe not me, because I know I just said a lot of nothing, but listening to the people that came before you, learning from them, and then being comfortable approaching, because literally everybody wants to be there for you. I was terrified of this first row of Senate when I came in a year and a half ago. There's no reason to be. They're the people that want to help you. They're the people that want to lead you and guide you to be the best senator version of yourself and best person. Everyone in this room is like so overly, kind of grossly qualified and cool and impressive in so many different areas. So if you can take the time to meet every single person, you will learn something and you will like be happy that you talked to them. Yeah, so just try and go to the chamber with a smile on your face. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes people can perceive you the wrong way. That was something that happened to me. We're all super, super busy. And so the one thing I will say leaving is give everyone a little bit of grace. I've fallen victim to that too when someone may be having a bad day, someone's had a long day, someone's had a busy day, and they maybe glare, they didn't wave back at you, they said something snarky, or they like said anything in a tone you didn't agree with, or something, literally anything. Everybody in this chamber is working so, so hard to do everything all at once, and not everyone can do that all the time. So if you can give everybody a little more grace while you can in this chamber, and open yourself up to reading them and giving them the benefit of the doubt sometimes, that would be awesome. And good luck to the new senators. I'm so excited for you. To the Pi babies, my mentee Emma Jabor, I think I already said that. And then welcome Ava and Stella. And with that, thank you, senators.
So, we're going to move into some elections for certain things now, but I just wanted to make sure to say because it's not listed properly on the agenda. Basically, after goodbye speeches, we're now going to move into the John Michael Stratton Memorial Award for the most outstanding Senate member, and then after that, we're going to move into the Paul Clark Memorial Award for the most outstanding committee chair. And those are going to be done by majority vote. So how that's going to work is I'm going to ask if there's any nominations, and then you're welcome. No, it's okay. We're going to ask for nominations, and you can nominate someone. It needs a second, and that individual has to accept the nomination. And then from there, we're going to move into a vote. So I'm going to ask at this time if there's anyone who would like to present any nominations for the John Michael Stratton Memorial Award for the most outstanding Senate member. Senator Larson.
I nominate Senator Austin Britton.
Is there a second?
Second.
Senator Britton, do you accept this nomination?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. All right, and Rules and Ethics Chair Filorama.
I nominate Catherine Isaacson.
Is there a second? Okay. And do you accept this nomination?
I do.
Okay. Senator Isaacson has been nominated. Are there any other nominations at this time? Member at Large Boyosa.
I nominate Rafi.
Is there a second?
Second.
Majority Party Leader Khan, do you accept this nomination?
I guess.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to close the floor for nominations? Okay, there's been a motion to close the floor by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. So we are now going to move into a vote. Since there are... Oh.
Yep,
Get out of here. We'll come get you soon. Okay. So, since there are 3 individuals up, how this is going to work is I'll call each one by last name, and we're going to do like a stand if you're voting for them. And then if we do not have a majority for any of the people, then we're going to redo the vote with the last 2 people who were top 2 tied. And make sure you're only voting for one person so we don't have to move into roll call vote and save everyone some time. But we will do that if people are voting for multiple people. Okay. So will all those who would like to vote for Senator Britton, please rise. Sit down when. How many? Okay. Senator Isaacson, please rise. please rise.
All right, am I?
Count.
Okay. We sit down in front of you, so yeah. All right.
Who do you vote for? All right. So, Majority Party Leader Khan received 46 votes, and so quorum was 78, and I did not vote, and the 3 people outside the chamber did not vote. So therefore, he has a 62% majority and is the winner. So congratulations to him. Okay. But you cannot tell him. It's a surprise, and you can't tell any of them who won. Okay, so can someone please go get them? Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, so we are now going to move into the same type of thing, nominations for the Paul Clark Memorial Award for Most Outstanding Committee Chair. Do I hear a motion to open the floor at this time? Okay, there's been a motion to open the floor for nominations by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Do I hear any nominations at this time? Senator Nadeau.
I nominate Budget Chair Dicula for nomination by consent. Actually, not even this is second.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Do you accept this nomination?
I do. Thank you, Lucas.
Okay. And then Senator Menchik.
I nominate R&E Chair Phil for the.
I'm going to stop asking for seconds. So, yes. Okay. Do you accept this nomination?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you. Senator Bennett.
Point of information.
Yes.
Does placement agenda count under disqualification?
No, unfortunately. Senate President Pro Tempore Rubio.
I nominate Judiciary Chairman Bravo.
Second.
Do you accept this nomination?
Sure.
Senator Wilsonovich.
Nominate INC Chair Bro.
Yes.
All of you leave.
Yes.
Wait,
Well,
no.
I didn't hear a second. So. Do you accept?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do I hear a motion to close the floor?
Sorry, thank you.
Okay, so moved by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Okay, Maya, Mia, and Matthew. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We're going to do the same exact thing in order of how they were nominated. So will all those who would like to nominate Budget Chairwoman Adicula for this award, please rise. You may be seated. Will all those who would like to nominate Chair Filoramo, please rise. Okay, you may be seated. Will all those who would like to nominate Chair Bravo, please rise. You may be seated. Okay. So, the vote is called Judiciary Chair Bravo has won that award, but do not tell him. It is a surprise. Is someone going to get that? Great. Yeah, come in. All of you, let's go. that it means a lot to the individuals who are receiving the awards. Okay, so now is the Supervisor of Elections Sideropolis here. Okay, we are now going to validate the election results for the fall 2025 election.
Good evening, Senators. As I was sitting in the back listening to the goodbye speeches, I realized I might be one of the last people to say that to you, so sorry about the reminder, but thank you all for your leadership. So if we haven't had the opportunity to meet at this point, my name is Lexi Sideropoulos, and I serve as the Supervisor of Elections. And now we'll just get right into it. Here are the fall 2025 student government election results. Woo!
Okay, if you signed up for a goodbye speech and did not give one, can you please stand up real quick? Okay, give me a second to double check.
It was my first one.
Was there anyone else besides Senator Ratha and Senator Rodriguez? Oh, okay. So how this is going to work is we're going to allow Senator Ratha to give their goodbye speech now, and then since I did not receive an email, it can be during announcements. Let's go.
So my left thing.
Do I hear anyone? Would anyone like to make a special rule to allow Senator Ratha to give a 15-minute goodbye speech?
I move to create a special rule to move back into the goodbye speeches portion of the agenda by consent.
Okay, do I hear any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Good evening, Senators.
Good evening.
So, as my term in the U.S. Senate comes to a close, I've been reflecting on what an incredible journey this has been. Over the past term, I've had the privilege of working on initiatives that I'm truly passionate about, from increasing representation for innovation students to improving safety on garden trails. And I'm currently working alongside, as Emma mentioned, the Student Body Vice President and Senator Jabbour to provide more access to menstrual products in all U.S. bathrooms. And even though my official term is coming to an end, I will continue pushing forward on this project because it is something that I believe will truly make a lasting impact on campus. But tonight what I really want to focus on is gratitude and the incredible people that I've been surrounded by. So first, I know she's not here, but I want to shout out Crystal Felix, who was such an amazing INC chair when I was on the committee, and I'm so lucky that I also worked alongside her in so many capacities besides just Senate. To Sarah Rodriguez, one of my favorite people that I've met during Senate, thank you for always showing up for me, whether that be in words of encouragement or bringing me banana muffins when I'm really hungry. So thank you. To all of the other junior girls, Zoe, Caroline, Lexi, Kate, Nor, Jocelyn, and anyone else that I'm missing, thank you all so much for filling this experience with so much friendship and positivity. To Dylan Canella, fun fact, we both lived in the Graham area, so I spent hours tabling with him during the fall 2024 election, and his dedication to the student body inspires me, and I'm so grateful he decided to serve another term. To Abigail, Caitlin, Molly, Brooke, and all of the other sophomore girl senators, you guys are amazing, even though I'm beefing with Abigail for getting me out in Assassins. I'm so proud of all of you. Shout out Mia and Maya. You two are people that I truly look up to, and I hope to keep seeing you guys around. Shout out Andrew Larson as well. I know you may not know me that well, but I usually sit in the back, and I can always see you smiling up front, and I feel like you just reflect the good parts of Senate, and I really appreciate that. To Josh, my fellow innovator, one of the reasons I joined Senate, Fun fact, my very first group project ever was with Josh. We got randomly assigned. And from the start, I was really inspired by your drive and your passion for, innovation and change does not go unnoticed. To Zach, also known as Eats with Zach, I cannot wait for and just know my George Washington costume is on standby whenever you're ready for that. To Marco, it's always such a joy running into you, whether when it's while I'm at work at the Wrights or while I'm tabling. You're one of those people that I could talk to for hours, and I just know you're destined to do amazing things. To Phoenix, a fellow Jacksonvillian, I'm so grateful for your friendship and cannot wait to see everything you accomplish the rest of your term. Speaking of Jacksonville, a huge shout out to Maltimo and Bravo. You inspire me daily, and I'm so grateful to have you not only as someone to look up to, but as a friend. And your resilience is just so inspiring to everyone in this chamber. To Cassie, you're just so cool. I wish I knew you sooner. Your passion is just so contagious, and it's really encouraging to be surrounded by you. To Rafe, guys, I promise I'm almost done. To Rafe, you were the first person I met in Senate, and from the start, you just inspire me for what this organization is about. Your hard work, your dedication, and genuine friendship really reflect the best values of this chamber. To Tristan, I can't really be so happy about you, but I'm really happy to have you. You're one of the funniest people I know, and I hope you continue with your shenanigans. And I just need to make sure Joseph keeps an eye on you. Shout out to Anjani, I don't know if you're here, but your positivity is also contagious, and your passion for mental health is truly inspiring. To Emma Fullerton, you've never had a bad outfit, and I know I always am telling you that, but you're just someone that I look up to both personally and professionally. To Arian and Julia, thank you for keeping this Senate in check, and you two are truly like the dream duo, and it's been really inspiring to watch you two lead together. And finally, to Emma Jabor, thank you for being my best friend. Even though we're from the same hometown, we went to different schools and might have not crossed paths without Senate. From all the laughs we've shared to all the struggles we've endured, shout out business finance, I could not be grateful to have you by my side. And wherever life takes us, I know that I can consider you a friend that I'm going to have forever. And to everyone that I didn't mention by name, please know you mean so much to me. Every single one of you has made an impact on me, and I will carry that with me forever. And finally, to all the newly elected senators, my advice to you is to enjoy every single moment because your time here will go faster than expected. And most importantly, make sure you're dedicating yourself to meaningful change. This past term in Senate has truly changed my life, both personally and professionally, and I'm so grateful for the opportunities and the people that I've met. Thank you.
We're going to move to a quick recess so that we can fix the live stream and make sure it's going to work for the rest of the meeting and for the second meeting. So I move to a recess until called back by the chair. Do not go far. All right. I call this meeting back to order at 8:36 p.m. Do I hear a motion to suspend roll call by unanimous consent?
So moved.
So moved. Okay. Do I hear any objections? That motion is passed. We are now in line for the validation of the fall 2025 election results. So do I hear a motion to Senate President Pro Tempore Ruba?
I move to validate the election results from the fall 2025 election by unanimous consent.
Do I hear any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Wow, congratulations everyone. Sorry, we're having technical live stream problems.
Again? So?
Yeah. Okay. All right, everyone. We're just going to keep moving, and we're going to go on to amendments to the minutes. Do I hear any amendments to the minutes at this time? Seeing none, we are now in line for amendments to the agenda. Are there any amendments to the agenda at this time? Senate President Pro Tempore Rubai.
I move to strike SSB 2025-1189 from the agenda as it was withdrawn by the author by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to withdraw SSB 2025-1181, which was withdrawn by the author from the 89. Oh. SSB 2025-1189 from the agenda by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Majority Party Leader Khan.
I move to approve, I motion to approve the special rule of excused and unexcused absences by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to approve all excused and unexcused absences by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. Follow.
I move to approve SSB 2025-1190 by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to approve SSB 2025-1190 by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. Follow.
I move to approve SSB 2025-1191 by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to approve SSB 2025-1191 by unanimous consent. Are there any objections?
I object.
Follow
up.
I move to approve the amendment to SSB 2025-1195 by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to approve Amendment 1 to SSB 2025-1195 by unanimous consent. Do I hear any objections?
Point of information, which amendment is that?
It was sent out to everyone.
Is that 1195?
Yes. Okay, there has been a motion to do all that. Do I hear any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
Follow. I move to put SSB, or all of the bills under second reading, SSB 2025-1180, SSB 2025-1181, 1182, 1184, 1185, 1187, and 1188 into a block by unanimous consent.
Point of order.
Yes.
It's already a block.
That's wonderful. I rescind that motion.
Okay.
I move to approve of the legislation under second reading as a block by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to approve the block of legislation under second reading by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
Follow. I move to approve SSB 2025-1203 by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to approve SSB 2025-1203 by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
I move to adopt the agenda by unanimous consent.
That motion is dilatory because there is an individual standing, so you will receive a warning. Senate President Pro Tempore Rubai.
I move to amend SSB 2025-1197 to include the following language. This is Rule 6, subsection B, subsection B, to add the replacement and agenda committee shall offer interviews to all applicants for Senate vacancies, summer vacancies, committee vacancies, and committee chair vacancies. Subsection VI, the replacement and agenda committee will also offer students the ability to submit application materials, including a resume, to be considered during the decision-making process. Sub VII, the replacement and agenda committee will evaluate all applicants in a fair, unbiased manner to nominate the most qualified individuals to fill respective Senate vacancies by unanimous consent.
Has that language been sent to the Senate Secretary?
It will be now.
Okay. There has been a motion to add all of that language to SSB 2025-1197 by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
Point of information, is that going on the record?
No. Okay. Are there any other motions at this time? Okay. Majority Party Leader Khan.
I move to adopt the agenda by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to adopt the agenda by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. We are now going to move into student body officer reports. We are now in line for student body officer reports. Is there anyone here from the president's office? From the vice president's office? From the treasurer's office? Okay, we are now in line for my report. All right. Before I give my goodbye speech, I really wanted to start off with some paper plate awards for everyone. Thank you all so much for the most incredible term and also also the most incredible 3 years of my life. But I feel like tonight would not be complete without bringing back the tradition of giving out paper plate awards. So I'm going to go to the podium and deliver those now.
Yay.
I'm going to do little to no explanation unless it requires it like severely. So when I do it, just please come up here and receive it, and I'm probably going to do multiple as you're all getting out here. Okay. Yay. Starting off strong with my lovely 5U sisters, Abigail Melamed. You're my favorite conspiracy theorist. Thank you. Ryan Tappan, most overqualified senator. Champion of mental health, Lexi Basin. Kindest senator, Maddie Carmelick. Okay, I think I'm actually going to read the name first and then their superlative. I feel like that would be better. It's been a while. Okay, Aaron Rubai, most likely to beef with the Rules and Ethics Chair.
I second that, yes.
Mia Villaramo, most likely to bully Aaron. Anthony Boyosa, most likely to bully Molly. Molly Murphy, member at large 1.
You have to frame that.
Oh my god.
Maya Adikula, face God. Matthew Bravo, most likely to win Jeopardy's Tournament of Champions. Kate Vintrop, best committee chair reports. I believe Crystal Felix left, but best TikToks. Catherine Isaacson, most likely to be nonchalant while dropping the most insane lore. Aaliyah Henley, honorary judiciary chair. Marco Salvador, most likely to trick Abigail into selling her soul in Spanish. Rafe Khan, funniest RNA committee member.
You remember at large 1.
Zoe Nutmeg, most likely to be recruited by the CIA. Jordan Antebi, most likely to set a building on fire. I won't give context. Okay, Jocelyn Riley, most likely to single-handedly revoke 24/7 Marston. Oh, she works at the provost office.
Just an assistant. Just do the copy.
Okay, Gabby Prieto, the OG legislation queen. Maddie Cypher, backpack award because you are always carrying the team. This is a 2-part award for Jack Dredd and Hughes Putnam. Silence, but on that grind. Also, I tried to do as many people as humanly possible, but I definitely wasn't able to come up with them for every single person, so I'm so sorry if I'm missing you, but I love and appreciate you. Emma Fullerton, most likely to work on the Hill. Josh Johnson, everyone's safe space. Josh Yashik, safest driver. Christian Kajabi, most likely to let me give him a second piercing. two-part award. Hannah Lockwood, Brooks Campley, and Julia Pasco, the Girls Trio. Andrew Larson, being party leader is the most difficult job, hands down, but you are next up on Broadway. Jordan Levitt, most likely to manage my finances. Andy, I thought you had a mustache for some reason. I don't know. Okay, I wasn't. It's not now, so this is really awkward because he got best mustache. Caroline Voss, most likely to stay in the rights union after her interview for longer than the actual RNA committee. Lucas Nadeau, my favorite Instagram DM exchanges. I would not be providing content. This is a two-part award. Two-part award to Sarah Rodriguez and Ava Raffet for undercover emos.
That's fine.
Rosa Mirabel, biggest heart. Dylan Canella, designated Senate lifeguard. Emma Jabor, always smiling. Natalie Eubank, most likely to understand Senate with German subtitles. Sherry Liu, Pinterest it girl. Caitlin Zervadakis, similar note, best style. Maverick Epstein, best RNA interview. I feel like the RNA interview one requires some context. Basically, like he literally pulled over in his car to give his interview because there was some confusion with the interview scheduling times, but it was like hands down one of the best ones I've ever seen. Lexi Trower, mini Ashley James. Haley Sedgepol, Senate Service Chair. Kate McNamara, most likely to pants me at Midtown. No. Andrew Sabadash, first to step up always. When I was party leader, I required my party basically to meet with me for a coffee chat. And he was the very first person to sign up for the very first call on the first day. I'm a freshman, newly elected senator in campus. Okay. For Burton Litterman, because thank you for sending me cat pictures. Cole Bennett, most likely to die on their hill. For context. Yeah. When I was party leader, he was the one who was always constantly pushing me to give as much explanation as humanly possible, and was giving like super valid suggestions and changes that I listened to basically every single time, and you inspire me. Thank you so much. For Mehar Chabra, You Inspire Me Award. My dear friend. For Mention Way, best resume. Ali Mahmoudi, most likely to serve in a UFSG party campaign before half of the Senate chamber got to UF. Ale Caparata, most likely to host caucus at Dog. Nick Andrews, most likely to run a winning political campaign. Austin Brennan, most likely to reverse climate change. Ashley Urbanz, the Real OG Award, and I will be explaining it in my goodbye speech. Jacob Eisenberg, most likely to take the bar by his senior year. Tony Berger, Jewish geography final loss. Mackenzie Hancock, most likely to be trusted with my children.
Beckett Papa always shows up. Hunter Lucan, because you installed a fridge in your college, you're getting the Princess Elsa Award. And for your college appreciator. Taylor Blake, best headshot of all time. Alexander Dill, unofficial gym buddy at the Standard. Basically, over the summer, I saw you there so often, but we were always separated by a room, and we never actually went together. Okay. Zach Wolstanovich, most likely to be a private chef at the White House.
I love that I do this.
Norval Sorky,
Do that.
most likely to solve world hunger. Lexi Jacobson, most likely to bring peace to the Middle East. Navia Shaw, most likely to win an argument against anti-vaxxers. Caroline Shapansky, you are getting the highlight of my day award. I love you so much. You are amazing. Yoel Katz, most capitalist. Most likely to go viral. I guess I'll give context. His vision headshot got like literally thousands and thousands of likes and comments.
How did that happen?
Yeah, we don't Well, anyway, I am so sorry if you are a senator and I missed you. I genuinely tried to get as many people as possible. It's a sign that we definitely need to hang out and catch coffee. If I said that wrong, but it's okay. But I have some last unofficial ones. First, hardest working dynamic duo. Sorry about the rules and procedures changes to Ariana and Kira. And to my favorite SG Senate advisor, you get the unlicensed doctor award, and I'm not going to explain it. All right, now it's time for my goodbye speech. So I'll start off by saying good evening, senators. Good evening. Oh, I'm already going to start crying. I didn't even start it yet. Okay. First, some context. My name is Julia. If I have not had the pleasure of meeting you yet, I am a fourth-year pre-medical student studying English, minoring in public health, and I've been the Senate president for the last 7 months. But I've been in Senate since my freshman fall when I was a Jennings senator. And so during my goodbye speech, I'm going to give some shout-outs and talk about the people who I've grown very close to, and tell you all a little bit about my experience basically getting into Senate and a throwback to what things used to be like. And then I'm also going to get into some advice, and I'm going to kind of dish that out as we go along. And then at some point, it's going to just become practically all advice and no storytelling, because there's a certain point where you just kind of figure out what you want to do and you're on a roll, and there's nothing else to say other than maybe some stuff I would have done differently. So, Senate is not just a student organization to me. It's genuinely shaped the person that I am. It's had a profound impact on my soul, the way I carry myself, my perspective of the people all around me. It's allowed me to really make an impact on this campus and to the people who exist at UF, on or off campus. For that, I will be forever grateful. First, I just wanted to start off by thanking my mom, dad, brother and sister, Evan and Amanda, and my grandma and grandpa, Softa and Papa. You all should be watching on the live stream or watching it later, so thank you all for being my biggest supporters, for always listening to my rants, for listening to me talk about Senate literally for, I guess, the past 3 years of my college career. Every time I see you guys, you always ask, how's Senate, how's it going? And I get to rant and explain everything to you. Thank you genuinely so much. I could not have done any of this without you. Thank you so much to my beautiful girlfriend, Victoria, who's in the front filming right now.
I could not have done any of this without you. You are so supportive. Your presence alone makes every day worth looking forward to. You're my rock. I know I can always count on you to be there. Thank you so much. I always see you in the back of meetings. There was a period where you came to literally every single meeting for months at a time. You're always there, even when things get hard, either in or out of the chamber, and I just genuinely appreciate you so much, and you're the reason why I'm able to do so much, because I have such a strong support system like you. And I want to also thank my sorority, Find You, my lovely legacies. Over the summer, that's Sam Erickson, Ryan Kruger, and Cami Miller. Thanks for being here. And then right now, it's Maddie Karlik, Lexi Bazin, Ryan Tappan, and about to outlive me is Audrey Adamonis and Abigail Melamed. You all genuinely mean the whole entire world to me, and to see something that I also spend so much time in and invest myself in, coming to the Senate chamber and engaging in something I'm so passionate about, and I get to see you guys grow and be so passionate too. I genuinely am just so proud of all of you. I want to give a special shout out to Abigail Melamed, my Gigi Little, because I'm old, sorry. But you are such an incredible human being. You are so talented and hardworking and driven. And like, there's some people where you're explaining things to, like the party leaders understand this, but like there's some people that you're explaining things to and they just are getting it, like immediately. And you're one of those people, you picked everything up like so quickly and you like shot off and you're amazing. I love you so much. Everyone in this room has had such a big impact on me. I think I break the Senate President Award for giving out the most paper plates, and I really tried to make an effort to get to know each and every single one of you. Sorry if I slacked off at the end a little bit there, but there was a time period where I literally knew every single period, or every single person in the Senate chamber, but I wanted to name some people by names. Anthony Boyosa, Matthew Bravo, Marco Salvador, Ralph A. Khan, Kate Finfrock, Crystal Felix, Catherine Isaacson, Aaliyah Henley, Molly Murphy, Zoe Meshik, Zach Wilsonovich, Andrew Sabadash, nor Gabby Prieto. They're not in Senate, but Annabella, Freddie, Joa, Arshon, and Alex Weirix, Co Levingood, Kate McNamara, my Senate mentees, Lexi and Mahar, mentee in another amazing way, Josh Yashik. By the way, you rock with the Campus Safety and Mobility powerhouse. There's a lot of people who are not sitting in this room, but I owe everything, or not everything, but a lot of the things to them. That is Blake and Monish and Socket, John Mason, Matt Reich, Laura Wentworth, Lily Clark, Lizzie Hartzog, Naomi Rosenberg, Megan McGuire, and Roman Kotroki. Special shout out moments to Cole Bennett, Wes, and Cami. Special recognition for always pushing me to basically be the best, well, some of you weren't in Senate when I was party leader, so that's okay. But you genuinely just give me the extra push and help me go the extra length to make sure that every single senator, at least for the people who I see and speak to all the time, understand like exactly what's going on and like elaborating on things fully and making changes that like maybe you disagree with and you come to me and you talk to me about it and we can actually have a conversation. I really appreciate that. Student government has also brought me some of my closest friends in this whole entire world. Just going to name a few people. Sammy, the live stream, AJ, Mia, Maya, Aaron, Anthony. There's others of you, sorry. But genuinely, like, I know I was extra grateful that last meeting of the summer, but I want to be extra grateful right now too. Sammy Kingard, you are my best friend. You have been by me from my highest highs to lowest lows. You, me, and Victoria are the most perfect trio with the most elite group chat name, which, by the way, is do not PRR this. And, like, I could not have survived the craziest Senate summer ever, which I will get into without you. And then AJ, thank you for being here in the hat and shirt. The brain on this guy is insane. You have such niche interests, are the most fun to talk to since freshman year in spite of everything. You've always been exceedingly kind. You've always had my back. I will always have yours. And AJ left the Senate chamber and gave a really great goodbye speech on the importance of mental health. So I'm going to encourage you all to take a look at that, but also to just prioritize yourself. Mia, we also have the most elite group chat name. No rules and highly unethical. Anyway, what sticks out the most about our persistent friendship is how much it's changed. Basically, I was your party leader, and I was like experimenting within the party with different stuff to do. And you
you and Tyler were absolutely incredible and helped produce so much legislation, and I'm just so grateful for you and for that. But also, just like talking to you on the phone, and you were so unsure of like everything, and then seeing you lead an entire campaign, like be a chair in Senate, like you don't need me for anything. Like you're awesome. Already on your own. Anyway, you're amazing. You're gonna do great things. Maya, you work so hard. You are so generous to everyone, even if people are not kind to you. One thing that sticks out to me about you is how you make an effort to always be social and include everyone. And that's something that I'm going to talk about too, because people, especially people as they like move up and are like in quote unquote positions of power in student government, sometimes people don't always make the time, and I feel like you do, and it really goes the extra mile, and it would have helped me a lot my freshman year, so I'm grateful that you're here to do that for all the freshmen and sophomores who are joining now. Erin, I hope that we are friends for a long time. You are a super fun person. You are genuinely so intelligent. You are my partner in crime in Senate as my pro temp, but also just like in life. We spend a lot of time together. I feel like our brainwaves have synced up a little bit, and we have the best conversations. I'm grateful that you're always there to keep me grounded, and I'm always here for you no matter what you need. You are amazing. I'm going to move on to Monisha. I don't know how to not awkwardly. And I like do not really write these. I'm just speaking from the heart. But Anthony, hey, you are so amazing, and you are so kind, and you've been there from the very beginning, I think, or actually not the very beginning. It's just going into junior year, I feel. We spent all summer, you, me, Jake, Victoria, we had an absolutely amazing time, and like you are just such a positive and kind person, and I will always appreciate you. I can go so into depth on every single person here, and I'm not going to do it. But I'm going to now move into a little bit of my SG story and sprinkle in some advice. Basically, I wanted to talk to you all about my introduction to student government. So my dad went to the University of Florida, so did my mom, so did my aunts and uncles and like grandparents, and I'm a third generation Gator, very proud and happy to be here. So I grew up hearing all about like student government and like all the stuff that you can do in the giant budget that they have. And when I was in elementary school and like in third grade, applications for secretary of like my third grade SGA came out, and my dad was like, oh my gosh, you should totally do it. And I was like, yes, I want to do it, let's do it. And it was a really good bonding experience for us. And he helped me basically like campaign and put up posters all around campus. And I actually had people come up to me and tell me that they're not voting for me because I had too many posters up, which was like an insane reason. But basically, that was kind of when it all started, and I joined student government in every single type of education that I had been in for like the longest time, all through elementary school, middle school, and high school as well. And then obviously when I came to UF, I knew that student government was what I wanted to do, and I had like grown up hearing all about it, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna make such an impact, like that's literally what I wanna do. And so I was here at UF a week before my freshman year started in the fall. I was living in Jennings, by the way. And it was recruitment, so I was in my like long dress for the press round, you guys get it, and I was in my heels. And I was like, I know there's an SG hallway here, and I know the applications are gonna start coming out soon. And so I made my way in my long dress and my heels to the Rights Union, and I walked into the SG office with all of the assertiveness of a freshman who like was the SG president of their high school, like coming in. And I was like, okay, who's in their office? Met someone who was in the external affairs office named Noah Feinberg, who I was basically like, hey, how's it going? And he invited me in and we had a little chat, and I was basically like, I want to get involved in student government. Can you explain it to me? Because it's really confusing. And he kind of broke it down in a way that I adopted and now explain to every single person who asks me after me. But basically that was the catalyst for it all, and he recommended that I speak to, if I'm interested in like politics and legislation, I speak to Lizzie Hartzog, who's the Senate president at the time. And then I ended up going Find You, very happy about that. Lizzie Hartzog was also in Find You, so I was like, oh my gosh, my queen, I have to track her down. Asked everyone and tracked her down. She was always so busy, but she still found a way to always be at the house, and I had her like also explain student government to me and got to ask more specific questions about like cabinet and Senate, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to decide between the two right now. So I just applied to both and got both. So I was an assistant director in cabinet, orange and blue, and then I was also slated for Gator Party Jennings senator. And that was such a crazy time. By the way, Senate was completely insane, but I still liked Senate more than cabinet and decided to stick with it. Just because I kind of realized that even though I enjoyed event planning, there's a lot of logistical and also sometimes bureaucratic things that happen that prevent you from getting initiatives done. I guess technically Senate has an element of that too, but it had less, and so I was like, let's do it. Anyway, so my freshman year impressions, I was a senator for Gator Party for Jennings, and I started off the campaign and I had two friends. My friends were AJ Amster and Sam Rosencrantz. Shout out, you guys. And Blake was my party leader. Blake, you are absolutely incredible. One of the most mature people I know. You always lead with kindness. You are my positive role model that is always encouraging me to do better and teaching me the things that I know and encouraging my active decision making and showing that you have faith and confidence in me. At the time, though, you were my party leader, and I thought that you hated me because your texts were dry, and that was not a valid reason to assume that someone hates you, especially not your party leader. And so, I just didn't feel like I really fit into the party. I'm aware that I didn't necessarily fit into the sorority girl mold already, and then I was coming into this space with all of these people, and everyone was so cool and so accomplished. And I don't know, I just felt like people barely looked at me, barely gave me the time of day, and sometimes actively left me out. Not fun, cried about it. I think I told Anomika some element of this a long time ago, the freshman year. But I have some advice for that. Basically, now being Senate president, looking back on my time there, especially the freshmen who are here, basically don't take things personally unless you know for a fact that it is personal. I've had multiple people come up to me and say that they're scared of me, but I'm just not understanding this because I feel like after my office hours so much, and I'm come up to me anytime. You're all amazing human beings. You're slated and you won your seats for a reason, so I want to get to know all of you. And then I know I mentioned that I have the privilege of being in both cabinet and Senate, and you might be sitting there thinking, well, I applied to both several times and got rejected from everything. Don't take rejection personally. Having sat on RNA for such a long time and just being on both ends of the application pool, sometimes it is literally just crazy and based on who is in the application pool at the time. Fun fact, I got rejected from a staff position of homecoming Gator Girl my sophomore year. So I had already been in Senate and cabinet, I still got rejected. So if that is any consolation for anything, just keep being persistent, and if you get a bunch of rejections and your heart's really not in it anymore, some people will say keep trying, but honestly, unless it's something that you really want to do, there's something for you somewhere else too. Also, don't join everything just because you feel like you have to quote unquote catch up. I know that a lot of people, especially on this side of the aisle, fall victim to this, and my freshman year, everyone was in a billion and one things. And I kind of adopted that same strategy of throw spaghetti at the bowl, see what sticks. And I joined, not as much as some people, but I feel like I joined a lot. And some of it I really enjoyed, and some of it was an unnecessary time investment, and I wish in hindsight I had been more intentional with the things that I was actively applying to. So you can do the spaghetti at the wall strategy. That was what I did. Obviously it worked, but that was not without its faults, and so you can also take your time getting involved. Also, don't burn bridges your freshman year. Give everyone a chance. Be kind and inclusive to everyone you meet. Some people need an invitation to feel included, so always be that person to reach out. I know sometimes dynamics in high school are okay, everyone's eating lunch together at the same time, and so it's really easy to make friends. But now that's not the same situation here. Everyone's kind of on their own schedule, free for all, and so just be the person to give people an invitation to be included. I know I did that, and it definitely it just made me feel good to do that for other people, and I know that I appreciate it my freshman year when people did that for me. Your mental health, energy, and grades and future are never worth jeopardizing for anyone. So there we go with that. I also wanted to say and bring up something that's not necessarily an elephant in the room at this point, because we do not do this. But way back when, a couple of years ago, I remember feeling very uncomfortable with how to vote for certain things. I felt like sometimes I was voting against my conscience. There was crazy gridlock. I was literally getting like screamed at in the face every single meeting, and like a lot of that was definitely an appeal to ethos and like your emotions and trying to get you like riled up so you're voting one way or another. And it was all like stupid, in my opinion, stupid tactics and very like political, and I don't appreciate like being told people's opinions. I appreciate being told the facts, and that's kind of like a huge issue that I feel like we've mitigated one way or another. Some specific highlights. There was this one crazy rec sports meeting, which I alluded to when we had our own rec sports meeting, where there were like mirrors all around us on all sides. And I was like getting approved for the Rules and Ethics Committee at this time, like almost rejected, but it ended up passing. Like everyone was getting yelled at, people were crying. It was like the most catastrophic meeting ever. And luckily, rec sports, I think, the Southwest Rec closed at like 10 or something, and so we all got it. But that was like absolutely crazy. There's also another meeting where I don't even know who it was, but someone called for a committee of the whole or whatever. I don't know what it was. Everything was dissolved immediately. No Senate president or pro temp, no committees. Everything was just like, that was crazy. And I remember like this individual got up and said, okay, I moved to do this, and everyone was like, wait, what is that? And then they called it. Guys, always look up a motion before you approve it if you're not really sure what it does, because it literally dissolved everything, and the entire Senate was like, wait, we have to re-elect everything now. And I remember he was like, oh, I didn't think you were actually going to let me do that. And that was exactly what he said. So, use your mind. There was also one absolutely crazy meeting where it was, I believe, Sammy Kinger's birthday, and we all got up and walked out of the Senate chamber, and I remember like feeling so uncomfortable, and I was like, what is happening? And then we ended up all leaving the Senate chamber, and I was like, okay, I guess I get to go home early, whatever. But that was not a pleasant experience. I just needed a little bit more information on what was going on, and then I could like come to my own conclusions. That was literally all that I was asking for, just some information. One of the things that I've learned, especially relevant to the younger people here, like if people are actively withholding information or not telling you information, like you might be thinking that they're withholding stuff. Probably false. It's probably that they don't know what's going on and they don't want to be embarrassed and they're not going to tell you because they don't want you to think that they don't know what's going on. So if someone is not explaining something to its entirety, that is a bad sign, and you should always be pushing back on that individual and questioning it. But yeah, that was basically that. It was the most difficult summer of my life also, not just with school, but personally. I was in a really rough place mentally, and Senate, even with all the craziness, Senate was my escape. Over the summer, actually, Bronson, shout out, was an absolutely fantastic MPL. He was the individual who demonstrated some of the little things you could actually do while being a senator, and was definitely my inspiration for what my strategy was going to be as party leader in the future, which I'm going to get into. And also going back a little bit, I know that I didn't really shout out exec branch people who I did not meet through Senate, but I wanted to give a special shout out to 6 people, because I already shouted out Victoria. One being Jade, not sure if you're here, but sitting in the Senate chamber for these super long meetings and actually making a really big effort to learn what's going on in Senate. Kudos. Freddie and Joa. Both of you were people who really just made me think about, you never know the impact that you have on people. Joa, you took Sammy out to dinner for her birthday, not really knowing one another after we walked out of the Senate meeting. It was her birthday and she was feeling really bad. And you literally took her out to dinner and you guys were not even really friends, and that was the start of your friendship, and that is just so incredible, and you're such a kind person. And one time, Freddie, absolutely amazing human being, told me that I was the one who encouraged her to get into Senate and start Senate. I do not remember having that conversation with her at all whatsoever, and that just makes me think about be mindful with your words, and I was trying to spread positivity, and if you know someone is passionate about something, help them out too. You never know the impact. Also, Cassie Urbans, and also Seth Woodbaron. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to say that during that really difficult summer going into my sophomore year, I was on the Information and Communications Committee. I believe with you both incredible people who really made me feel included. When I was at a point where I didn't really know the people in my party, the summer people, I didn't know necessarily who they were. So thank you for always being there, and also for explaining a lot of stuff to me. You shouldn't know how to. And I also, this would not be a complete goodbye speech without telling the origin story of how me and Victoria got together. and started dating because I feel like this is very relevant to student government, and you'll all understand in a second. Basically, we met my freshman year in Chem 1, like first class, first semester, basically first class of our freshman year of college, and we were sitting next to each other. I'm getting like some jaw drops right now. Yeah, and so, yeah, so basically, we were just friends like for our freshman year at the beginning of the year, and then after winter break, we're both like chatting and getting coffee, and she says to me, guess who signed up to campaign for Gator Party? And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in Gator Party, like let's do it together, that would be so awesome. And so we had the best time on campaign together. She was an ambassador and I was the director of something, I don't even know what, but all I know is I had access to the spreadsheet that was in charge of the tabling schedules. So I hacked into the tabling schedule and I moved myself to table with her. And I like moved her around so we were always tabling together. And then lo and behold, in the 24/7 Newell Library with Monish as an unknown third wheel, that was the moment when I was like, okay, we're going to probably start dating. And then I walked you home, and then that was history, you know. And so that was awesome. Without that campaign specifically, we probably would not have started being together. So just wanted to share that. Guys, it doesn't mean that the love of your life is sitting in these Senate chambers. But it could be. It could be. So yeah, be nice to everyone, you never know. Okay, I want to keep going to some sophomore year impressions. Basically, we were at frequent meetings till 11 p.m. literally every single night. Like, I don't think that we got out of a meeting before 11 p.m. ever. I think that the first meeting to ever do that was like not even when Maya was in MPL, like that was like after, I don't know. The double meeting was literally until 3:30 p.m., which is insane.
AM.
Oh, my bad. Literally till 3:30 in the morning, and then poor Leah had to drive home to Saturday. Yeah, okay. But some like crazy not highlights, the executive nominations like took forever to get approved, and that was the one thing that's just stuck in my brain that I can really remember. I had a class, by the way, with Samantha Simon after all of this happened, after she was not approved for almost one whole entire year, and she was like a celebrity to me. Now we're friends, but that was really funny. There were some 2.5-hour goodbye speeches. I don't think there was just one. I think there were multiple 2.5-hour goodbye speeches. And I remember sitting in the audience and like, okay, I'm going to start writing my goodbye speech now. But I ended up not doing that, but that would have been really cool if I did. But yeah, I think that I definitely broke the record for longest time ever serving on the replacement and agenda committee because I was on that committee for way too long. Like, I don't know how that really, well, actually I know how it happened, but well, I'll tell you how it happened. Basically, after being here all summer and working really hard going into my sophomore year, I basically found out that like when the party was going to put people up for certain positions that I was not going to, like I wouldn't even have an opportunity to be NPL or any of the chairs. And then I was like, well, what was I here all summer for? These people were not necessarily here all summer. Why was I working really hard? What's wrong with you? And then I was really upset, and so I spoke to some people who like were my mentors and amazing people who had just been working really hard in the Senate, and I knew that, and I was like, look, you work really hard, like you can understand my situation here. And AJ was party leader, and he was like, why don't you be my DMPL? And I was like, okay, what is that? And then when he explained that I was like the deputy and the person who would be helping out with all of the party leader duties, I was like, oh, I'm so in, like this is vision, this is a new party, this is an opportunity basically to like redo exactly how like all the uncomfortableness I had felt before, not attributing that to Gator Party, but all of the uncomfortableness that I had ever felt in the Senate chamber, like I would single-handedly have an opportunity to play a role in making sure that no one ever feels that way ever again. I'm absolutely in. So that's what we did. And then in a crazy twist of events, AJ was Judicial Chair, and then I became the party leader. And that was kind of when everything all started and my extra long, like 14 months of MPL-ship happened, which is not normal, and I don't, like, I'm a very big, like, 4-year or 8-year president term limit, whatever. Like, I'm a very big, like, pass on the torch, like, get moving, but that was the situation at the time. I was so happy to be party leader. It was such a highlight of literally everything because I really felt like I made an impact not just on campus but also like with internal dynamics of what is now the majority of the Senate chamber. And I really feel not necessarily a ton of you, I guess some of you were here for that for when I was MPO, but a lot of you. And I was just really happy. One thing that I made a point to do was to go out of my way to include the independents, that being Cassie, Lucas, Alan. Not sure if I'm missing anyone, sorry. But I definitely understand that like when you're in, I understood like the huge role that I was taking on basically being the facilitator of information between caucuses about the meeting, and like people were missing giant chunks of information. And so I tried my best to include everyone, and I feel like people appreciated that. And that's something that I recommend that party leaders on every side do, because being independent, normally like people have reasons for doing that, and like it's really difficult, so just be kind to make an effort to include people. I learned what real party leadership should be like. Nathaniel is a great example of someone who would go to war for his party, a literal party ride or die, and he definitely inspired me to do the same, and I think I did. And Anamika, sitting right here, hey, you also inspired me to do the same. I don't know if you would describe it this way, but even when we butt heads, I felt like we were the ultimate party leader, like duo situation, and we had such like an insanely productive Senate chamber with such substance coming out of our Senate meetings and like such substance coming out of the initiatives that we were all doing. And like it's difficult to be a woman in leadership sometimes. Like sometimes you're in these positions and like you feel overworked and you feel undervalued, and I'm grateful that you were able to lead with positivity, and I feel like so was I. And we were able to empower all of the people working around us, especially the women, and make sure like people were really able to have their voices being heard. You know, we went from having the same like 4 people in the Senate chamber speak like at a meeting to basically like the entire chamber wanting to stand up and participate, whether it be something little like approving like a single bill or like speaking in debate or authoring bills. And so that shift and like being able to visibly see like actual gridlock shift into meetings that are going until 11 p.m. all entirely full of substance, like no stalling and all that, like that was so incredible. Yeah, you had such a big impact on me, and I just wanted to make sure that you knew that. And that definitely continued with Max Stanek as well. And earlier today, the Senate was told that party leadership, aka myself, was preventing people from working on the things that they feel strongly about. That like could not have been further from the truth. In spite of these accusations, I am genuinely so happy that I got to play the most active role possible, probably be the person who changed the culture of the way that things are done in the Senate chamber. Special shout out, if you all have TikTok, I made a certain account public. It's called Legislation, but like slay is like S-L-A-Y. So you can go and watch those very outdated videos of me basically explaining like how to read an agenda, how to read the Senate website. Like it's not a very good TikTok account, I'm so sorry. I'm not very like viral. My videos, I knew that they don't go viral, but I really wanted that to be a resource where senators can like take the initiative and learn, because when I was a freshman, I really felt like I wanted to do so much, and there was a physical barrier stopping me, and that barrier was me not knowing how Senate worked, and that was a huge deterrent to like, getting further involved. And it genuinely took Bronson being like, here's how to read an agenda, the most basic thing that you should know, and here's how to write the simplest form of legislation, aka a resolution, which is literally like freehanding, doesn't even necessarily require knowledge of like a comprehensive knowledge of the code. So, you know, from that, you know, the account is active and a little outdated. Like I think I still talk about public comments and like different thresholds and stuff. So, but you can use your intuition and genuinely work off that. And yeah, I just cannot be prouder of how hard you all work and how many amazing things that you've accomplished. Like there's really a focus on feasibility, having great relations with the administration, listening to the Senate's needs, and like the culture. I feel like it's done a complete 180 from whatever majority party exists now. It didn't just take me, but it took literally all of you and every single person who came before you to build up to this point. Some of these changes, like I beg you all to heed the changes and continue them in the future when I'm gone. Some of them include, I don't know, like minimal previous question and just allowing debate, encouraging senators to like write legislation, even if you don't agree with the concept of resolutions as a whole, and like you think that they like clog up certain committees, whatever. Like I think that it really is a good intro to getting people involved initially. And like sometimes people just need to take that first step, and like a resolution is something really simple that they could do as like a catalyst for contacting more administrators. And that's been my philosophy, and it worked really well. Like you can't argue with the results. And I feel like, yeah. Another thing also that I did secret, but I consistently was reaching out to the people in the executive branch and judicial branch who were nominated on the agenda to like basically half force them to show up to the meeting so that they could actually be approved, so that all of the chamber could hear exactly what they had to say and like what their ideas were that came out of their mouths. Like if you had an exec nom that you were like, I don't want to approve them, and then they were suspiciously here, that was me. Not sorry, but I think that that's something that's important, and like we shouldn't be settling for like, just if a resume is provided, that's one thing, but if literally no information is provided, like I agree that to a certain extent, unless you like legitimately know the person and work ethic, it's important to not settle. During my administration as MPL alone, we did a ton. During my administration as the Senate President Pro Tempore, we also did a ton. I'm missing chair in there, but that's okay. I was perfectly happy as party leader. Like I was so happy to be continuing that. And during my Senate presidency, I'm really confident and happy to say that we also did a ton, and I can genuinely attribute that to all of my wonderful, amazing chairs. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to Majority Party Leader Khan, because being party leader is the most difficult job, and I think that anyone who's ever been party leader knows that, and you're managing the biggest caucus to date, like in my brain that I'm envisioning. So you just like have been doing it seamlessly. Yeah, I've been doing it seamlessly, incredibly amazing. Some of my advice before I conclude this speech, I'm not going to be talking about like all the things that I learned my junior year and like what I learned going into senior year, because all of that I feel like I really like it was a continual process, and I can't extract those things right now. But just don't minimize yourself to fit in. Obviously, there's a time and place for everything, but you can be yourself authentically in spaces, and if you are in a space and you find that you can't, try, and then if you can't again, then if you can't be yourself authentically in a space, then it's time to exit that space, and I stand by that. Also, huge one, listen up, you are your own greatest advocate. There is zero other people in this whole entire world who can advocate for yourself better than you can. If you feel like something's not right, if you feel like you deserve to be in certain places, like make yourself known and go for it. Don't be shy, because like at the end of the day, not even just in the student government sense, but in the student government sense, like I don't want to say that this is fake government, because it has a real like substantive impact on student life, and we manage millions of dollars. But at the same time, like it doesn't have to be super serious 100% of the time. Absolutely go for things, shoot your shot. You might surprise yourself. But seriously, you're your own greatest advocate. If you know that someone else has that responsibility to be consistently advocating for you, you better take the time to meet with that person and make sure that they know how to best advocate for you. They better know why you're the best. They better know what you've done. So, that's how I was able to be Senate President. So take that advice. And then along those same lines, the people who are going to be the most successful are the ones who shift the locus of control of their own lives back onto themselves. So, sometimes things might feel helpless. You might be applying to certain things, and you understand that there's a committee that decides, and, like, you might feel like, oh, whatever, there's nothing I can do. Like, the applicant pool is so competitive, there's no way I'm going to be chosen, or any other situation. No opportunity is quote-unquote safe. Like, even if you're positive that you're going to get something, no opportunity is safe. If you want something, you better make sure that you work for it, because, like, things like legacy only gets you to a certain point, and then from there, it's all up to your own merit, and you better be working hard and showing people that you can do it, because the last thing you want is to get into something and say, like, you're here because, like, your dad did student government 30 years ago. No one has ever said that about me. So, just do your thing and work as hard as humanly possible. Also, make sure you have some metric on how you judge people, not necessarily judge people, like you shouldn't be judging people, but make sure you have some metric to see like who is going to be a real friend to you. I know, for example, like sometimes I'll say this, like me and Victoria will walk into spaces together, And then we're going around and being our friendly selves and like saying hi to everyone and doing what we always do. And then there's some people who will like come up to us and like only turn to me and like only have a conversation with me and not even like give Victoria a second glance. Or like sometimes I'm in spaces with like there's multiple instances and people this has happened with. Like have a good metric to tell like who is actually a genuine kind person who's going to give you and the people who you're surrounding yourself with, like the time of day, and who's going to actually be open and include as many people as possible. Like if you're one of those people who are actively excluding people, you are absolutely a part of a problem, a part of why I did not have a great experience in student government my freshman year. And you need to basically get your act together because, you know, people who like become in charge of certain things remember exactly how you made them feel, remember how you made their littles feel, remember how you made their mentees feel. And so, you know, be kind. And be inclusive, and like just be genuine. And then don't be complacent. Genuinely take advantage of all of your opportunities and write legislation. I wrote that after hearing basically every single person who gave a goodbye speech say that same exact thing. But that's genuinely so true. Like we do not want the Senate chamber to be going back to how it used to be when I first joined Senate, where basically nothing was getting done. People were arguing with people all the time. No one was able to pass legislation. If you're in the Senate chamber and there's like barely any bills on the docket, like make sure you're that person who's writing stuff. You're gonna have plenty of RMP revisions to do after I leave. So amazing, wonderful. But take advantage of it because it hasn't always been like this, and you're here for a specific reason. Thousands of people may have elected you, and remember that number is in the thousands, not the hundreds, like thousands. So people are counting on you. Follow your conscience and stick up for your beliefs. Don't let anyone force you to do anything that you're not comfortable with. Do your own research. Don't let people like tell you what to do. And if like you're a member, if you're a member of a party, you know you have to like be a team player and work as a team, and like just make sure that you're constantly communicating. And if you ever feel uncomfortable with anything ever, like don't feel uncomfortable. Like just don't. Like make sure you stick up for yourself and you know approach your party leader or approach like different people in the party or just like anyone else in general. And also like you can always come to me too. I'll be on God. But don't let anyone ever make you feel uncomfortable or do anything you're not comfortable with. And then my favorite quote ever, I think it's from The Amazing World of Gumball, but I'm not sure. So I literally don't even know. But it was my Instagram bio for years. It set your life on fire and seek those who fan your flames. You have to be surrounding yourself with the people who genuinely have your best interest at heart. If you have all of this like information and like gossip, personal information, and you're sharing it with more than 2 or 3 people maximum, choose like the 2 or 3 people who are genuinely the most closest to, where you can like really vent all your negativity. But apart from that, like exit the negativity and like be your happy self in other spaces. Also, if you have more than 2 or 3 people to doing that, there's probably like one of them is probably telling everyone what you're saying. Sorry, but you need to like make your. I'm not saying make your circle small because I'm really happy to have a giant, really supportive, like incredible, amazing circle. But just make sure that like you're trusting the right people and don't do that to too many people because you might find yourself very unhappy. Also, like going back, I didn't really write a ton of stuff down, so that's kind of why I'm pitching this a little bit disorganized. But I want to give a special shout out to Monish, who was my entire inspiration for being a positive and inclusive Senate president. And like, not that I was not going to be, but basically like he set the entire standard, and I'm so grateful for him and his maturity and the way that he's inspired me to behave. Party advice. Specifically to Vision, but to everyone also, but Vision Party. Do not let the lack of another party force you to fracture internally. Don't let it happen. Not appropriate. Stick together. You're a team at this point. Keep producing legislation. Do your thing. Reach out to admin. Actually get initiatives done. When you're getting complacent and things don't get done, that's when it becomes really easy to find a weak spot or something that you're not doing. That's a really good attack point. And that eventually like leads to other people hating on you and hating on your party, and that raises internal tensions. And that's like, you want to stay together in a party for as long as possible, and that's like the goal. And the goal is to get as much done as possible. So yeah, just like stick together and rely on each other. I don't know what else to say about that, but basically, you are the future. This is so difficult for me to stand here and look out at all of you and then realize that I'm going to be leaving very soon because you are all so incredible and have left a giant impact on me in some profound way. I know this was kind of long, but I think that my tenure here has given me the right to have a long goodbye speech and a right to share all the wisdom that I've learned. And if you're sitting there thinking, I already know these things, Julia, they're so obvious. Well, it took me 4 years to come to that point where all those things are so obvious to me and where I'm following those every single day. And there's definitely at least one of you sitting here who are hearing stuff and you're like, well, if the Senate President said it, then this is going to be the advice that I'm going to have to follow. The one that I want to reemphasize is like sticking up for yourself. That is like the main thing, and I'm not saying you don't do that already, but go the extra mile to do so because it goes a long way. And it genuinely was the one thing that helped me get to where I am, and without it, I would not have been able to. So, be my advice, do your best, enjoy your time in the Senate chamber. This is my final Senate meeting ever. So with that, I say, good evening to you all. Thank you all so much for giving me this opportunity. It genuinely means the world. Okay. We are now going to move into replacement and agenda. We're now going to move into replacement and agenda committee recommendations. And so we are now in line for committee reports from the replacement and agenda committee, starting off with Senate President Pro Tempore Rubai.
I know I just scared a lot of the new senators in the back. Don't worry, I'm not giving a speech. Long, you don't want to hear from me anyway. So, for the open seats, there is business, dentistry, graduate medicine, pharmacy, and veterinary medicine. That's all. The next pro temp is going to have to announce a lot of committee seats, so we'll get to that in the next meeting. I just want to say pretty quickly that it's been an honor and a privilege to be pro temp these last couple of months. I feel like I've learned a lot from every single person in here. And I just want to give a general blanket thank you to everyone who's helped make this such an easy and fun process. More specifically, for Julia, I can't imagine a better colleague, a more inspiring boss, and a more compassionate friend than Julia. So if any of you ever want to learn how to be an exemplary member of our University of Florida community, please go to her. She's the best.
Thank you. We are now in line for the Judiciary Committee report. Will the Judiciary Chair Bravo? Okay, we're going to skip it for a sec. We are now in line for the Budget and Appropriations Committee report. Will Budget and Appropriations Chair Adikula deliver the report?
I'd just like to say that I'm very happy that the Budget Committee got a lot of hype tonight. That's all I really love and care about, but I also really care about the fact that that was the best goodbye speech I've ever heard in my life. Yeah. So thank you for that, Senate President Cipher. She was very real, and I hope to be just as real as Julia, and she's like Erin said, she's an exemplary member of this chamber. I know I'm closing out my budget chairwoman term. My budget committee, I love you guys. You guys are everything to me, and the fact that everyone that is sat on our committee knows it and sees it, it makes me feel like a proud mom. Like, you guys are amazing. And Judiciary Committee, I love you guys too, even though I think my committee's better. But I love you guys. I love every single person in this chamber, and for my senators that are leaving, you all have touched my heart, and all of your goodbye speeches have also touched my heart. I'm going to remember that for a very long time, and everyone that has said anything nice. I'm very, very honored to have served as your Budget Appropriations Chairwoman. Thank you so much.
We are now in line for the Judiciary Committee report from Judiciary Chair Bravo.
Well, thank you for giving me the chance to serve as your Judiciary Chairman. for the past legislative cycle. I just have one thing. So I tried to do this from memory because I don't have the roster pulled up. But to every person who served on the committee while I chaired, I got a little gift for you. So come find me at the end or whenever throughout the meeting.
What about me?
You were on it when I chaired it. I should be getting a gift from you. It's honestly been my favorite thing I've done. I joke about how miserable it is every Sunday. It's not. It's a great time for us to review bills, to actually get things done. I'm happy that the time we had in there was so peaceful. That's a big change from how it used to be. The committee is something to look forward to. For any new senators getting involved, I encourage you, please apply. We'd love to have you. I won't be there anymore, but I can't wait to see whoever the next person is and the next committee members throughout the years. So, thank you all.
We are now in line for the Rules and Ethics Committee report. Will
Yeah.
Rules and Ethics
No, I'm good. I know I didn't give a goodbye speech, but I felt like you guys heard enough from me as chair and as campaign manager.
No.
I've heard enough myself talking. So thank you to all those people that I'm friends with in the Senate and all those people that I've had the opportunity to get to know. You all know who you are. Special shout out to exec this term and last term. You guys are the best besides Aaron. Love you all the most. We're also friends again besides Aaron. Yeah, new senators. It was a pleasure getting to know you guys during the campaign. You guys are all going to do great things. If anybody ever has questions about constituency or absences, make sure to go to my vice chair, Andrew Sabadash, and then the next chair is go to them. Do not text me about that. I will block you. But if anybody ever has needs advice, if they ever need anything from me, reach out to my AA, Molly Murphy.
No.
She's the best. No. Molly will answer all your questions. Thank you. Please do not text me about it ever again. Good night and go Gators. Molly, she really wants to hear from you all.
Okay, you don't have to.
We are now live for the Information and Communications Committee report. Will INC Chair Finfrock please deliver the report?
Hi everyone. Lucky for you, I reslated, so not least. But so far, this summer it was very unexpected serving this position, and it was such a gift. So thank you all for trusting me with doing this, even if you didn't at first. I hope you trust me now. And yeah, thank you, Julia, everyone else, Aaron, all of Senate Exec. It was so much fun. So yeah.
We are now in line for ad hoc committee reports. Will a member of the Mental Health Ad hoc Committee please deliver the report?
Hi guys. I did not sign up to do a goodbye speech because I know I'm already crying. I know that I would cry, but I am gonna say some things. So many of you probably haven't been here since the fall 2023 election, but if you were, you know how much I've loved being a part of this since the beginning, and how passionate I am about everything I do, especially here. The people I've met through campaign and Senate have, quite frankly, changed my life. Okay. Shout out to my first Judish chair, AJ. Shout out to my old Judiciary Committee, Jonathan, Aaliyah, Aaron, my new chair. We had a really long 9-hour meetings, and it was really crazy, on top of other things that happened, like being posted on Instagram. Yeah, so also shout out Emma, love you for working with me and understanding me. People that aren't here, Co, Owen, Angelina, and Maya. There are so many people I can shout out, but you guys know who you are. Finally, I just want to say, don't let anyone make you question your values, your abilities, or what you know you can accomplish. No resume line matters. It's the memories you make and the impact you make on others. be the person you can be, and never stop fighting for what you believe in, regardless of who agrees with you or not. Put your everything in all you do, and everything else will follow, and always prioritize your mental health, of course.
Thank you, Senator Prieto. We are now in line for the Campus Safety and Mobility Ad Hoc Committee report. Will a member of the committee please deliver the report?
Good evening, Senators and future Senators. I have a few updates to share with y'all and some special shout-outs. So, recently, just last week, UF Interim President Landry has reached out to us to work with UFPD to identify areas on campus that need improvement. This is going to be like one big research document. We're going to send it over to the President, and then hopefully pressure Department of Planning, have administration pressure it instead of us. On Thursday, I will be joined by members of my committee, Student Body President Blake Cox, Executive Secretary Emma Mikowski, Pilot Navigators Agency Head Jacob Schneider, a Vice President for Flipping the System, which is all about safety on campus, their organization, a couple of captains from UFPD. We're going to be taking a bus starting from UFPD, walking areas that are of concern. Then we'll give this in the report, which will be given to the interim president on October 20th. I would also like to give a few shout outs tonight. Zoe, Lexi, Hannah, Andrew, Brooklyn, and Julia. I genuinely could not think of a better, more committed committee. We're meeting as much as like the standing committees do. Every single week, we've advocated to IRA, Department of Planning, UFPD. I call them up like at the most random hours just to go over stuff, just to update on things, and they're all always like supporting me, and they're just like the most fantastic people to work with. If we could give them like a round of applause. I also want to give a very special shout out to Senate President Cipher for allowing me to have this committee, giving me the idea, and listening to my yaps every single meeting. So, with that being said, thank you so much, and it's been an honor to serve as chairman.
All right. Thank you. We are now in line for bills under first reading. So here's the situation. The Rights Union closes at 11 p.m. It was not extended for this double meeting. And so the situation that we're coming into is we need to make sure that we have enough time for the second meeting to occur to actually elect a Senate President Pro Tem and the members at large, as this is imperative. So what I'm going to suggest to the chamber, and of course it's up to you all, but I'm going to suggest that we move to add a special rule to hear the remaining legislation under first reading as a block, which I know is not the original intention, but given the situation, that would be a 2/3 vote, but anyone is welcome to make that motion. Yes, Senate President Pro Tempore Rubio.
I move to create a block of all the remaining legislation under first readings by unanimous consent.
There has been a motion to create a block of the following legislation: SSB 2025, 1191, 1192, 1193, 1194, 1195, 1196, 1197, 1198, 1199, 1200, 1201, 1202. That is all. That is a special rule. So we will now move into a vote. Will all those in favor please rise? You may be seated. Will all those opposed please rise? Seeing as that is a claim convincing 2/3, that motion is passed. So we are now in line for all the giant block of bills under first reading, and that procedure is going to be the same as the typical bill procedure. The procedure of approving the special rule. So the situation for that is Aaron and I are actually the authors of these legislations, so I'm going to ask Judiciary Chair Bravo and Budget Chair Adicula to come up and be the Senate President and Pro Temp and chair the meeting respectively. for the time being.
Yeah.
Some information, and the timer is here. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm not getting any ideas. All right. Well, the author of SSB, what do we have? 2025. Thank you. 1191 through 1202. Will the authors please come to the podium? They are here. You now have 5 minutes whenever you're ready of presentation time on the legislation.
Good evening, Senators.
Good evening.
Okay, so essentially what you are looking at, if you go into your email, open the agenda and actually pull up this legislation, it is very important that you take a look at it, especially the first one, SSB 2025-1191. That is basically this whole entire series of legislation is there for the intent, as it mentions in this bill, of rereading and revising the entire rules and procedures to be significantly more streamlined, just better overall based on senior Senate experience, and fixing a lot of the problems that earlier versions of the rules and procedures had. And I'm sure that there's a couple of gaps in this that you guys can fill moving into the next legislative term, but it is really important that this is done, especially because the rules and procedures right now, I believe, is about 67 pages. And these series of rules and procedures is going to be around 42 pages, and so we cut out a significant amount of superfluous information that did not need to be there. And so it's just necessary as a whole. Do you want to talk about the table of contents?
Sure, yeah. So not only did we go through and copy a lot of the old information from the old R&P into this one, but we also restructured the format of it itself. So instead of 18 rules, there are now 10. We're trying to make it as nicely formatted as possible, so those who want to rewrite it can just copy this from the website. It's no longer going to be an issue of formatting. So starting off with governing documents, I'm just going to walk through the whole thing, I guess. That's pretty self-explanatory. That also goes over what was considered suspension of the rules in the old R&P. Rule 2 is membership of the Senate. This is basically every member of Senate executive officers, as well as we redefined what party versus caucus mean. So party is now going to refer to a political party within the chamber that ran in one of the 2 recent elections, and caucus is going to be a group that is joined voluntarily by senators to join a member of an identity-based community within the Senate. So now those are no longer confusing. It also talks about elections. In the next section of selection and removal, that's elections, succession. So, for example, if the president and pro tem aren't here, who chairs the meetings, judicious higher than the budget, just pointing that out. We also move into censure, expulsion, and removal. So those are 3 things that can happen to officers if they do not perform their duties responsibly. Then the agenda. The agenda is a totally new format that we made that I want to go over for anyone who's going to be either a party leader or just senators in general. We made it go by sections. So on the agenda, it goes line by line explaining what section means. Executive nominations, judicial nominations, new section called legislative nominations.
Vetoes instead of 3rd readings.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff there is new, but it also has just the general procedure is listed right there, so it's easy to see. For meetings, regular meetings, special meetings, virtual meetings, recess, debate, voting, this is all pretty much entirely copied over from the old R&P. Standing committees is also copied over, with the exception that judicial nominees will now be heard by RNA instead of the Judiciary Committee. Other than that, most of that information is the same as well. We added a rule that senators can only serve on 1 committee except RNA. If you're on RNA, you can be on multiple. You can only be on 1 committee. We think this gives more people an opportunity to learn more about the chamber itself. For special committees, this is new language. Special committees refers to ad hoc committees, the RNA Joint Committee, and caucuses. So all of these are special committees. They're not standing, but they do have some rights afforded to them by these R&P. So you can look at that if you'd like. We'll continue to amend this over the next couple of weeks as well. Most of this other stuff is copied directly over, quorum, absence, constituency. And then lastly, Rule 10 is a new one, records of resources. This is going to eventually be more complete and robust and talk about the online resources such as the Instagram, the YouTube live stream, and the website, as well as voter records. We're changing the name officially to voter records, not voting records, I think, because it was super confusing. Other than that, if you have any questions about any of this legislation, feel free to reach out to me or Julia right now, or me over the next couple of weeks. Don't bother Julia with it. She's retired. But yeah, so I know it's pretty comprehensive and pretty long, but please take the time to read it. New senators, this will also affect you. You're attached to the email that was sent out as well, so please take time to read through these rules and procedures.
Thank you. All right, we're now in line for 5 minutes of non-debatable technical questions. Are there any questions? All right. Hearing none, we'll now move into discussion of the amendments. All right. Okay, thank you. All right, well, we now are in line for 3 rounds of con-pro debate with 3 minutes per round per side. So let's start with the first round of con. Senator Wilhurst.
Thank you. I've read through these new updated codes several times, and they are overwhelmingly positive. I know I'm not supposed to say that on con. However, I would like to point out a few issues. These are issues we can address tonight, or we can address moving forward after these new rules and procedures are adopted. So, my understanding of this legislation, I've had conversations with the authors, is that it intends to rewrite our rules into a more comprehensive, more understandable way, and it is overwhelmingly successful in that regard. A couple issues that I would like to point out is that a couple of places where content is changed. There are a couple places in a couple of the different bills where specific thresholds are changed, where specific procedures are changed. In my opinion, it's not appropriate to tweak specifics in a bill of this nature, in a bill that seeks to be a complete overhaul. I think this bill should focus on the areas where it performed exceedingly well of making our system more efficient, more comprehensible, and I find it inappropriate to include such tweaks in the document. However, this is a living document, as all of our codes are, so this is something that we can continue to amend in the future, that I plan on having some conversations about in the future. But I did want to point out that I do feel this set of bills overreaches in a couple of areas, and that makes me uncomfortable. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, any other rounds of con? Okay, we now move into the first round of pro debate. Senator Abel.
Yeah, I think that this block of bills is frankly a great change to our rules and procedures. I completely understand what Senator Larson is saying with these minor tweaks. However, I feel like the changes to the rules and procedures are necessary, and I think that we need to pass this tonight so that in the future we can take a more comprehensive look into the new rules and procedures and continue to make the Senate an amazing place for all of us. But I think that that's something that we can do in the future. This change, I think, will make everything, as Senator Larson said, much more efficient. In that regard, I agree.
All right, Senator Wilson-Ovich.
I think specifically, the 2 authors of these code changes, they have served various different roles: party leadership, Senate President, Senate Pro Tem. They've kind of done it all within Senate if you could put the 2 of them together. And so I think that, the minor things, they have an intricate understanding of the minor things especially. So while I do understand that there may be some concerns in specific areas, I tend to think that even those specifics are thought through, and that such a comprehensive overview wasn't taken lightly. I mean, the one that's at the very end of their term, that this is when that these revisions are up on the floor. So I just think that overall it's a very important step in farthering the history of the Senate.
We appreciate the glaze. Senator Vance. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You actually have a minute.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll just be quick. I think there's a lot of proactivity, and the reason why this is being passed on this is because there's a lot of time to really think about these changes. We've also changed voter thresholds a lot this session specifically. Marco, myself, and Senator Bennett have also done the same thing. Sorry, Senator Salvador. I apologize. And we've also done similar things. I think we've gotten a lot better at making sure we're thinking about who needs to approve things and what it takes to do this. And I think they've done a lot of research. They've done a lot of thinking. And the reason why it's coming so late in the session and why it's coming right now is because of that proactive research and that proactive thinking.
And that is time. All right, we now move back into a round of con debate. Do I hear any speakers for con? All right. No speakers in con. We now move to 3 minutes of final privilege, seeing as there's no further debate.
Can I move to previous question?
Okay. By
Unanimous consent.
unanimous consent. All right, there's been a motion made to move to previous question on the block of bills from 1191 through 1202 by unanimous consent. Are there any objections?
I object.
All right. There has been an objection.
Can I use my final privilege now?
Yes, you may move in your final privilege.
Our final privilege.
3 minutes. 3 minutes whenever you're ready.
All right, yeah, so basically I just want to say that I am still here. So if there are issues with this, as I'm sure we will encounter them, part of why we did this is to get rid of specific niche examples of things that happened in 2023 when a lot of changes were made. That took up the bulk of what we cut out. So if there are more things we have to change, I will be here, talk to me. I'll be more than happy to make these amendments with you. You can't get rid of me that easily.
Yeah, and just to address some of the concerns, I know that we had already gone over it as well. Like, this is literally the culmination of my years and years in Senate, basically seeing like what works and what does not. You know, changing goodbye speeches from 15 minutes to 10 minutes, when most goodbye speeches today, I was timing it on my phone, were averaging about 6 minutes. I think like there's some very necessary and good examples of changes that we made that basically streamline the meeting and make it more efficient, while still ensuring that senators still have their average like time to speak and different stuff related to that. So thank you all. This is the legacy. I appreciate all those who voted in favor.
Thank you very much. We now move into a vote on the debate or on the bill. If you are voting in pro of the bill, please rise. Thank you. You may be seated. Anyone for con, please rise. Okay, seeing as there's a clear and convincing majority, the block of bills from 2/3 majority. Thank you. The block of bills from 1191 through 1202 has been passed. Get me the hell away from that.
Right. So that concludes everything under first reading. We are now in line for bills under second reading. There are none. We are now in line for bills under third reading. There are none. We are now in line for bills pending signature. There are none. We are now in line for announcements. My very first announcement is that I have these lovely medals for all of the chairs and members at large. So I'm going to come around and give them to you. My second announcement, the Rights Union is closing at 11. We need to elect the new exec. So instead of the next meeting starting 15 minutes after the adjournment of the first one, what we're going to do is give you all like literally a 3-minute max window for you senators, like find your seat. Old senators, get out of here. I love you all. You're all amazing. That's my announcement. Any other announcements at this time? Yes. Yeah. Senator Rodriguez.
Okay. I just set up two of the advice because I know I was like using a lot of time, but I'm still gonna do it because now I feel like what I want to do now. Okay. So good evening, everyone. I'll make this super quick so I don't want to take so much time. I want to say unequivocally grateful for this opportunity to serve in the Senate. Big part of this has been one of the most meaningful experiences we've had in the U.S. Not only because of all the legislation we're able to pass with the people of the community, and I want to start off by thanking everyone in this room, but specifically Senate Exec Aaron and Julia, the most hardworking people I've ever met. You have this lucky to have these folks in the Senate chamber. So Mr. Matthew Bravo, the definition of perseverance and the best judiciary. Sorry, Aaron. Actually tied with Aaron. So stepping that in trial, Marcus Oliver, Zach Sonovich, Abraham Rathney, and get to sit with that, you love you guys. To Nora, Heart of Gold, girls. And finally, Annabella Vigna. She's not here, but she's in my rock through student government and college. She's the sweetest person ever. We haven't been able to meet her. Thank you so much, guys. It's been an honor. Love you.
Senator Levin.
Good evening, senators. Sorry to make an announcement when everyone wants to leave, but this is from the External Affairs Agency. So I wanted to discuss the importance of an upcoming referendum on GRU, or Gainesville Regional Utilities. For those of you who do not know, a referendum is a vote on policy that is voted on by people rather than legislators. And this referendum in particular is important and relevant to this chamber because it will affect the daily lives of many students and your constituents. So the effects of GRU referendum will mostly impact those who live in rented apartments and homes. It is important that you register to vote in Alachua County and educate yourself on the referendum to vote in November, as well as ensure that your constituents and students at UF understand how this utility referendum can affect their daily lives. Thank you.
Judicial Vice Chair Melamana.
Hi guys. Sorry to be super quick, but I really want to highlight a piece of legislation that we passed tonight. It's SSB 2025-1190, resolution honoring Julia Cypher for her service to the University of Florida. I really urge you, like new senators, old senators, current senators, please take your time to actually read the piece of legislation. Julia has done so much in her time as Senate President, so Senate Pro Tem 4, member, a majority party leader, regular senator. Like, I could have written a 30-page bill, a resolution, but I had to condense it. But please read it. She's done so much for this chamber, and she deserves it. So, thank you.
Any other announcements at this time? Okay, make sure new people run out of here, and if we have like stuff to do and pictures to take, let's do it outside. With that, I adjourn my final meeting ever at 10 a.m.